Ladies and gents, welcome back to the EU Gears Pro League. What a game number 1 through. First time we had about number 3. Way. Really good series in the end. OB Alliance take it against Rated R. One of those where you feel as if a couple of rounds here and there, Rated R could have took it 2-0, but OB Alliance hold very strongly, take that series, and will move themselves away from the bottom of the ladder. However, we're moving to the top end of the ladder now between the top two teams. EU's Finest against RDamage. It's a strange one because we talk about the top two teams and you think, oh, really close game, but EU's Finest, notoriously very good against RDamage. RDamage, notoriously not very good against EU's Finest.
Yeah, that's how it works.
One of those that really could be a whitewash if RDamage do not turn up and EU's Finest play it like how they normally play it. This one could be over pretty quickly.
It could be. It honestly could be. But I think RDamage have been getting stronger as the weeks go on.
I'd agree.
So maybe we see a bit more of a fight this time around. I hope to see it, to be honest with you. I really do. And honestly, if RDamage can win this means so much for them in the league because, you know, assuming that they go on to win their next 2 games, there's no way that they can be caught. So it is a really interesting situation we find ourselves in here with both teams being tied going into the second half.
And as far as I'm aware, it affects seeding going to San Diego as well. So, you know, these sort of things do matter. But let's have a look at the picks and bans of how things have folded out. So, Icebound is gone from RDamage. Vanscar gone from EU's Finest. District up first from EU's Finest, a map we have not seen from them, if I remember rightly. Bunker then coming from RDamage, which, I mean, last time if you've seen EU's Finest on that map, you probably wouldn't have wanted to pick it, but here we are. Training Grounds then gone. That's a typical EU's Finest map number 3 pick, if they can choose it. But this time around, Exhibit is gone, Training Grounds is gone, Asylum is where we will go if we need to. However, I know we don't know much about EU's Finest on District, but the fact it's their pick worries me. Then Bunker is one of those maps that we've seen them on against a team who are notoriously quite good at Bunker, and they smoked them. So I don't like these maps for RDamage. They won District last week against Rated R, but I honestly, I don't know.
If you'd have given me these maps with the names covered up, I would have thought it would have been the other way around. Okay. I honestly would have thought RDamage would have gone in, picked District. EU's Finest would have picked Bunker given their performance. That is genuinely what I would have believed. Interesting to see how it's unfolded. Absolutely no surprise to see Asylum coming in. It's the most played map for both of these teams. They seem to love it, and yeah, it's definitely an interesting series, and we get to see District again, which is great.
Yeah, again though, I just feel as if leaning towards EU's Finest. I think. Wait, it's just changed. Who picked what?
Did I nail it?
I don't know. Oh, it's right now.
I nailed it.
God damn it, you were right.
I made my money this week.
Matt's just made you look absolutely like a genius. So it was actually EU's Finest who got rid of Icebound.
Perfect.
RDamage who got rid of
so this makes a lot more sense.
Vaskar.
This makes a hell of a lot more sense.
RDamage picked District. EU's Finest picked Bunker. EU's Finest banning Trending Grounds doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I'm not sure. What I kind of like about that to a degree is that it leaves Exhibit Asylum left over, and for everything there,
they're happy with either one of them. I
think they're happy with either one of them, but I'm pretty sure they also understand that RDamage is definitely going to go over to Asylum, given that RDamage they've put so much preference on that map in the previous weeks that it's almost a kind of
it doesn't really matter.
That they're just leading.
And I think
RDamage
if you're EU's Finest, you leave up 3 maps that very much could be very good for them. Training Grounds, we've seen them pick that. They look good against RDamage on Exhibit last time they played each other. They look great on Asylum as well. So I think if you EU's Finest, those last 3 maps, you sort of say to yourself, well, we can ban out any of them. It doesn't really matter. We're quite happy to play any of these. In the end, it ends up being Asylum. District's the interesting pick from me. RDamage won that one against Rated R last week. It'll be interesting because, as I said, we haven't seen EU's Finest on this map. But this is how things are going to break down. This is how we are going to go in this series. It is indeed, as I said, going to be District first. We will then head over towards Bunker, with Bunker being EU's Finest pick and RDamage's pick being District, and then Asylum for last map if we need it. Do you think we're going to need it?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think if they can come out on District strong, and it's a big if, this is EU's Finest, to be honest with you, then I don't think we see an Asylum, to be quite honest with you.
I'm going to set you some homework. I want to know how many times they've banned it. District, EU's Finest. Have they banned it?
Yes. It's a bit of homework. It's about 4 times, I think.
Yeah, because it is notoriously...
No, it can't be 4 times.
it's notoriously one of those maps that a lot of people have got rid of. So we'll look into it. I'm not putting pressure on you to do it now, but
yeah,
you know,
I'm thinking because I did look at this before and my mind is blank. But it is one of their staple bans.
Where's Toby? Get him in.
You can have him next week. It's fine.
Yeah, we we were discussing. Actually, no, I can't. We were discussing Toby coming next week because Toby's joining me next week, and yeah, we were discussing. I said I'm gonna have to get him. I can't slate him and stream.
Don't do it to him. Not while he can't defend himself.
No, we'll wait until he gets here. Yeah. He's quite a stocky little fellow though. He'll swing for me. You never know.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
He's not aggressive though. He's very nice guy, Toby Campbell.
Always a pleasure to have around.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Anyway, relevant to the point, we are actually loading into District. Irrelevant of Toby's stature or temperament.
You're doing him wrong. You're doing him a disservice, poor guy.
Good lord.
Anyway.
Right, anyway. Yeah, the District is what we're going to be going into. And we just really don't know what to expect. We've seen RDamage on this. Close game between themselves and Rated R. But Rated R, all respect to them, are not EU's finest. And I honestly, I would expect them to take it. I would expect them to take it. And that just proves their strength across the board for me, is the fact that I still think, even though I'm not seeing them on this map, yet I've seen RDamage win this map, I still think EU's finest are going to win this map.
Let's find out. Let's find out. We're going to get into it here. District kicking off. Second time we've seen it in the cycle, as I said. It is one of the maps that has been banned out the most across the entire Pro League so far. But teams starting to let it slide through a little bit as we get later on. Starting to find new matchups, starting to find different opportunities.
Well, Strikers is actually currently, or was actually before this week started, the most average eliminations. Most eliminations on average is probably the right term.
I thought he was about to say, yeah, he's just the most average.
He's the most average in terms of eliminations. But here we go. Actually, it's a really good start for RDamage. They're going to find 2 kills. Crazed and Jack do go down. This is a very quick push over towards A. They will decap that one. Hydrone is somehow still alive in the midst of all of that, but Strikers will help them get taken down. This should be an RDamage round. Looks like the domination may come through. Phelpsy and Crimson's trying to get something done. Will actually find the kills and slow this push down. So EU's finest not quite there, bowing out in round number 1 here quite yet. They will just about give themselves.
Close, to be honest.
Yeah, they were very, very close. 2 big kills come through, and that really just slows everything down from RDamage. They can't get too aggressive because they're 2 men down, and you know, you lose a couple more gunfights and you're in the danger zone. Craze now trying to get something done, and that's something we're going to see a lot. Green and blue control, very, very influential on this map. The Lancer Fire will come through. You think about Team Shot, you think about Team Lancers. You think EU's finest when you're thinking of Europe anyway. They're very, very good at doing this. They will just choke you out. Right now, though, a couple of kills going in their favor. It is momentarily a 3v5 in favor of EU's finest. It's starting to get aggressive. Cougars is going to shut down the push from Craze, though. Jack is going to be able to answer back and take down Cougars, so a trade away. But at this moment in time, it is a swarm win condition. Grim's trying to get a hold of A and just using his Neo-like tactics from the Matrix to try and dodge these bullets. He does so. A and B now in EU's finest control. C will go over towards RDamage as they're starting to get aggressive towards those home hills. Actually, they're not going to pick up C. They're just going to leave that one and push towards A, which does make sense. All of Phelpsy, really heads-up player there. Just moving himself forward just so RDamage can't get a free capture over towards C. But eventually, the map will reset itself and it will be a COG team win condition.
Yeah, Cougar's just getting that cap in there. I mean, the point's still pretty even, though. It can go pretty much either way. You are going to see his finest. They're backing off here into the juice. They're just going to defend their own home hill is what they're trying to do here. See the Lancer Fire coming out. And one thing you can't do as RDamage is give EU's finest that opening down, because they will move on it. They will play on that as soon as they get it. And you have to be, you know, all alive. Hydron getting one. Looking for his second here as he's getting pushed by a couple of members of RDamage. Cougar's going to fly in.
Him and Crazed played this super well, though. Crazed is going to go down. And Hydron will have to back on up, but the thing is they're wasting time here. RDamage are the ones with the lead, though. B did get decapped in the grand scheme of things.
See how quickly they get pushed out of the ring, though, when they try and get that quick decap. Such perfect Lancer Fire. You see, I was talking to Lancer Fire, Jack just swinging around, coming in behind them. Just getting a couple of pellets on and taking the kill there.
B's looking like it could go over towards RDamage here, though. They have C, now they have B. Jack is going to go down. As I said, these respawns are long. And this has been a very long round number 1 here. It's not something we see too often. Of course, with the respawns being so high, it's one of these things where it can be over very, very quickly. But now the team able to get a massive advantage. RDamage will win in 15, so if you are EU's finest, you have to make a push here somewhere, and it can flip very, very quickly. It's quite a close score, but they're going to need to get B and C if they want to do anything here. It's going to be very, very difficult. RDamage just setting up for this push. Grace is going to get shut down. That should be the round. RDamage. Opening round, go over towards them.
It is. It was a strong round, to be honest with you. They opened up very, very strong. I think that's the key thing here is that they didn't let EU's Finest get any control over that.
It could have been a domination, albeit for a couple of kills coming out of EU's Finest. So.
Yes, but the thing that does is it puts EU's Finest on the back foot, right? And then from there, they have to fight their way to get control. They have to fight their way to put themselves in that position to win this round, as they usually do by strangling out their opponent. That's what you want to see from RDamage. You have to keep opening strong, because any little benefit you give to EU's Finest, they're going to, just molehill into a mountain is what it is.
Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Yeah, is there any others other than that mountain molehill? I don't think there's any others.
We can start to make some up, but probably not worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know what we're trying to say.
Yeah. And, the point's there.
The point has
Don't
been
ruin my fun. All right, I'm trying to think of other... no, there's no more. That's literally it.
Oh, well.
Yep, sorry. Anyway, continue.
I'm just saying.
Gears of War.
They did all right.
They did. Physics and Co trying to get something done over towards B. Yeah. And once again, slow start to the round. Both teams pick up their home hill and waiting for those moments of engagement. Flash is going to come through. Crimsons will effectively dodge this one. That's helping in the form with Phelpsy as well. Rita will find one. That's over towards the home hills though. If you're Physics, you have to get the hell out of dodge. EU's Finest now have two members here. They have control of blue as well, so the beat push is looking like what's going to come through. But they're just not quite able to make a move here. Yeah, RDamage are playing the lives really well here. And we talk about the giving EU's Finest an inch they'll take a mile. They're just not giving them anything here. They're giving them very little to play with, and that's what's making things so hard for them. But here we go. Here comes the push. RDamage getting aggressive. Strikers finds one on a high drone. There was a threat of a second there, but EU's Finest back it up with the Lancer Fire. But look at this aggressive push from the mid, but that's actually going to make EU's Finest have to make a move somewhere, either backwards or forwards. That's going to allow Physics a free cap on B. RDamage in control.
Very surprised he didn't get shot from blue there. Or maybe X-ray cameras. We did see someone over there from EU's Finest, but maybe they were just a little bit further back. Cray's now sat in that window. That's got a bit of control in the overlook. Let's have a look what else is going on elsewhere in the map. Zorkos, he's down at Bandstand, so just holding a little control in the middle, trying to make sure that no one from EU's Finest can get through this bottom end of the map. Hydrone, he is opposite. He is going to be the man trying to make the play here as he flies in. Zorkos versus Hydrone. Hydrone has seen the flank coming in from Cougars. Should get down, no, but Cougars mistimes the shot. And Zorkos, he flies in, manages to clear the kill, but in the end, it is going to be a 2-for-1 Crazed. Getting the bargain there. Headshot and a meat shield all for one.
Physics is going to take down Phelpsy over towards B though. These respawn time are still relatively high. That's two members of EU's Finest down. Swarm win condition coming up. Rita is going to get taken down by Jack though, so sort of evens the odds, so to speak, as Phelpsy now will be coming back up in a second. Jack now is the one that managed to survive, so he kept his team in it, so to speak. He was momentarily the last guy alive, as said, but it's a swarm win condition once again. RDamage are playing these long rounds very, very well. EU's Finest are going to have to get something going. You don't feel as if they've really arrived at the races quite yet. You know, it's one of these things where they are just really getting outplayed by RDamage right now, and EU's Finest can't get anything going. RDamage quite happy to just play this awkward game and just disrupting their opponent. And EU's Finest, they just can't get out of the blocks right now.
This is it, and RDamage, they are doing well to just hold off these pushes as well. We're seeing a lot of plays here. Jack making some as well, but they are making a lot of plays just to keep themselves in it. You saw there the extension over to C to make sure that they always had at least 2 hills under their control. As soon as the EU's Finest push, RDamage moved, and that was easily done by RDamage just to hold at the end there. And 2-0 now. They are looking good. And my question is now, are EU's Finest learning from these early rounds? Are they trying to understand, where RDamage are sitting, how they are setting up these holds? Because if they are, then they can start to break it down in these later rounds. And EU's Finest, they are a team that are capable of doing that, adjusting on the fly.
Well, EU's Finest, are they going to do it? Yep. Yeah, they are.
Talking of adjusting on the fly, let's break this down.
Yeah, there you go. Drop shot now dropped over towards Bandstand, and that is where you feel as if the majority of the fights are now going to happen. And EU's finest. Quite happy to do that. So now they have a smoke. On the other side of things, though, the thing is that works for them is that they put in a bandstand. They haven't got the shock to contend with because that's on the other side of the map. They could have it to contend with, but not quite soon enough to really influence this bandstand fight, which is going on now. Jack Vex and Co are going to get this push through. Hydron will find one of the Cougars. It's a meaty shot coming out of Jack as well. Just will back RDamage down. Drop shot now in the hands of Phelpsy.
Nice play by EU's finest just to extract that. Hydron is going to fall for it, but they do trade Hydron for Krugers, which I think the trade is still in favor of RDamage there, but in favor of RDamage there. But it is better to get the trade than not. To get Hydron off the map is definitely beneficial for them.
If you are EU's finest, though, you put a lot of stock into that drop shot, but you do lose B while you're at it.
But look at the points, right? Look at the points. They are still up, so it is obviously going to be overtaken in a second, but you do have that drop shop, so maybe try and force this play on B.
But if you're RDamage, then...
Do you want to waste it?
Yeah, exactly. If you're RDamage, you know that drop shot's probably going to come through. That is going to possibly be the catalyst for them getting a hold of this B site. I'd imagine this is going to go into blue. Thread the needle. See you later, Zorkos.
Just not respecting the fact that...
There goes the second. Rita go down. It's just perfect efficiency from Phelpsy, in all honesty. Just two nice quick shots with the drop shot. Opens it wide open. B now. It's going to go in the hands of EU's finest.
That it is. And also C as well if they're not careful. Phelpsy is he's not started running the entire way through, and it's going to be Zorkos versus Phelpsy. Phelpsy is going to hold this. Just get the down on Zorkos. And Rita tries to dive over the body. A-Hill is going to go over to RDamage for just a second, but it should be pretty much the end of things here for RDamage's third round. Great use of the drop shot there just to open things up.
Yeah, that's what does it in the end.
No surprise, EU's finest capitalized.
So RDamage, do you think they maybe put a little bit more... I mean, if you're RDamage, you've got the shock over that side, you sort of say, well, let's capture B, and hopefully they don't be... Hopefully they aren't quite as efficient as they usually are with the drop shot, or do you think you put more stock into... I mean, you could always...
I mean, you can try and block things out down there, or...
The thing is, for EU's finest here, though, the fact that they can put a shock down here, or a Moxer, of course, then now they have absolute priority over this drop shot.
Yep. And it's only going to keep getting worse if RDamage don't try and do something about it.
Yep.
How they do something about it is maybe they try and draw the fight somewhere else.
Do it.
Which would make sense.
Lovely stuff. Right, we got a spicy game on our hands. Boom shot is now down. Drop shot is down. And other weapons on the side of things as well. A Moxer is there for EU's finest to defend over the drop shot.
Let's see how the teams look at this.
Honestly, would you just cut your losses and go, right, we'll have the drop shot, we'll have the boom shot.
For the boom shot, which is kind of interesting. Rita sitting in that middle is going to be able to support a little bit. Cougars does well there, just puts himself right in the corner, so can extract that pretty well.
Drop shot's going to go over towards EU's finest.
Yep, on the other side of things, we do see EU's finest clutching up down in the bandstand. And that's the trade, right? You've pretty much got the weapons you have priority over. Let's see how these teams now use them.
What would you rather have?
Right now, drop shot, personally. I think, although you have got that boom shot over at B, you're not able to make a play to be able to push 4B with it because, you know, of the height elevation, of EU's finest just being in decent position as well. Whereas with that drop shot, you can push uphill. You can really try and force that, and you have an extra shot with it as well. So let's see how it works out, shall we?
Well, we'll keep an eye on Craze. We know he's lingering around with that.
Jack's over here.
It's actually Jack, the one with the drop shot, sorry. So that's going to be pushed over towards
Here's
B.
The boom shot.
I feel as if has Cougars used this yet?
Not sure. I've not seen anything come out just yet.
He got it pretty early. He's going to make the push over the top.
Yep.
I'd imagine it's probably going to come through. The shock is drawn out from one side of things. I'm not too sure which direction that honestly came from. But either way, it's not really that useful for either one of these teams. I'd imagine this drop shot's going to come in from Jack in a second, and that's where we're going to see the break. Here comes the flash. Jack going to have to back on down. This is probably going to be an engagement from RDamage here. Strikers is going to find Phelpsy in the mid, but now they're in a really good spot. They should be able to capture B, and it's going to have to draw the drop shot out. Jack does find one with it, though. Cougars was the one that went down as well. He did have that boom. Did anybody else pick it up? It doesn't seem that way. He hadn't.
Probably did use it then, right? I mean,
yeah, he must have used it. He must have used it.
We'll assume he's played it optimally and did manage to get the shot out. Didn't get a kill, but Adron picking up 2 as well for himself. Just like that, they flipped the switch, and a couple more kills going in their favor. Jack still with this drop shot, pushing up with it, just trying to find himself a kill. Doesn't want to use it if he doesn't have to. Gonna get pushed here. Oh. Is baiting Zorkos into a corner?
I think so. I think Zorkos was like, oh well.
That was the equivalent of the salute.
Yeah, this is me now. Well, as you can see though, RDamage, for all that they have given up complete control of B, given up control of the boom shot. They're quite happy to push these home hills, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to camp up towards Bandstand, and that is going to allow them to get a hold of the drop shot. Crazed is here to match it, and I'd imagine the boom shot's going to come over. It did come over, but it didn't land, really. Drop shot comes through. That does land. Crimson's is going to go down. Here comes the push from RDamage now. They're going to push towards C.
The drop shot to go, though.
Drop shots here. Can it do anything? Not quite. The shot grenade is perfect from Phelpsy, though. He stuck it just behind them, so no more reinforcements come through. Cougars is actually going to get a hold of the marks. That Crazed finds one and has been pushed back. This is a win condition for the Swarm side.
3v3 as well for this.
It's a big good fight. Crazed pushes through, finds one on Arita. It was just a cleanup. Crimson's going to find a second, and just a superior shotgun player coming out of EU's finest. They will capture C back. They will get that win condition back.
Cougars, he's not getting out. He's going to go back to the respawn queue. Do wonder if
they haven't even captured
Zorkos is back in, so it was a choice to stand in the corner. Nice shot there from Crimson, just forcing him out into the open. Phelps are going to clean that one up. EU's finest looking a little bit better now as they managed to draw out the scoreboard. 3 minutes 20, a very long round, and honestly, a couple of little positioning errors from RDamage there, and a different ball game, to be honest with you. One positioning of Cougars, not Cougars, sorry, Physics' second drop shot.
Yes.
You connect that, you got yourself a man advantage there, and you go forward with that. Perhaps you're in an alright situation.
I will say, from EU's finest perspective, they had the boom and didn't do anything with it either, I suppose.
They flew it across the top, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if it landed, don't get me wrong, but what's going to happen this time? Talkbow now down on the side of EU's finest. So there's a Talkbow to help them play for the drop shot, which is fairly strong. In fairness, of course, the 3 bullets, 2 bullets in the drop shot as it's down in the middle. Smoke grenade now placed, and it's a little bit of a late start to the hotel weapon placement from RDamage. You feel as if they maybe were wishing they had put down their initial drop over towards this side of things.
It is, but to be honest, you drop a smoke grenade on top of a Talkbow, and it's almost as bad to fire that into the smoke because you could hit your own teammates as it is against the enemy.
Well, you never know, because Phelpsy's probably still going to hit this.
If they get the spots, yes, he will hit it, right? That's no question. But the question is do they have the spots? You see Cougars, he's going to get the boom out pretty quick. The drop shot's still on the floor as well. Phelpsy not able to connect anything with this right now, and you do see RDamage. They are cleaning up. Oh. There goes the headshot. The boom shot is shot at Zorkos for some reason, but Physics gets out the drop shot anyway. Sorry, the boom shot was shot at Zorkos.
So you were saying about that smoke made you look really small there, didn't it? They used that really well.
I spent my entire time on Gears of War playing the Talkbow. I know what was annoying, and it was that smoke grenade. And this is also annoying. People hiding in corners.
Yeah, well, we'll leave Reader to it.
Yeah, he's reading a book. He's just waiting for someone to come in and try and decap. That's all.
Reader. Did you intend to make that joke?
No, not really.
Oh, God.
I wish it was, but...
Well, Physics now with this drop shot. RDamage with ANC control.
They've also got... Oh, they had a player with a boom shot. Doesn't look like they've actually got any more left, given that Cougars is going to be the one pushing up first. Doesn't matter, though. EU's finest going to be pushed out here, respecting the drop shot, and that's the difference, right? They understand that they can't give up their lives there.
Well, they will move over to A, and it's still a Swarm win condition, albeit still quite some time. They will capture B this time round, though, so that will get cut pretty much in half. Down to 71 seconds. Physics still with this drop shot. What can be done, though? Hydron is going to drop one of them. Is that going to find anything? It's not quite as clean and clinical as he used finest drop shots were. However, it will not matter. They win the gunfights. Irrelevant. Jackfax will get one up towards blue side. This will help them make the push. Reader's in a pretty bad spot right now. Yeah, he has been dropped already. Swarm win conditions still, though. Let's see push coming through. From EU's finest, they are going to get a hold of this. Physics is probably going to have to back on down here. This is potential domination going to come through as EU's finest just seem to flip the switch and just dictated enough resources to the right place to put half back down. They know they have a 2-cap right now, and it will just about probably get them that win condition.
I like that play from Physics. He really played that nicely. Timed it perfectly for his team coming back up. The boom shot is up now, so Physics got to land his shots here. Gonna just roll back out. Zorkos gets downed. They have got a perfect angle to EU's finest on this back row. And now Physics doing his best. He's 4v1. Can he get anything? No, he can't. Hydron shuts him down. Lancefire coming out. Some spicy little movement there from Hydron. Gets himself in a better situation. Cog Domination going to click in. Zorkos basically in no man's land. No hope of getting anything done there.
I love watching Hydron play Gears, man. Oh.
3-2 now.
And suddenly the Cog Domination comes through.
I mean, all of these rounds, RDamage have been up. And they've been up by a lot of points. That round, they were up by almost 60 points there. And it's just a couple of little missteps from RDamage that have put them in these situations which, you know, we know, they know, EU's Finest know that EU's Finest are going to take advantage of them. You got to be careful. At the beginning, they had the drop shot, they had the boom shot, and they nullified the torque bow.
Yeah. From
there, you should really be in a better situation at the halfway point, and you should really be winning the round, to be honest with you.
Looks like they are going to half this torque bow. So that comes through unsurprisingly. If you are damaged, it looks like they're going to upgrade a shock to an M-bar. Right,
and this makes things interesting because you can get that
we have 4 different weapons to now keep track of, by the way.
Yeah, but you can make this M-bar to the middle, take it to juice, and you can do so much damage with it. All you need is a pistol bullet from one of your teammates, and then you've got an insta-give. And it's almost, I think it's easier to land than the torque bow, personally.
Yeah. As somebody who's not very good at this game, I agree. It's a wayward shot by Crazed over towards Physics, although he would have done very, very well. But the difference this time round is that it looks like EU's Finest have won those initials. They have boom, they have drop. Hydron has already used the boom shot over towards Cougars. Strikers is going to go down as well. He had the M-bar. So we talked about that M-bar being influential. Striker seems to have got aggressive with it and found absolutely nothing.
The one thing that you've kind of done there is you've given a delay to your own teammate on that fight to the boom shot. So even though it's 2v2, actually EU's Finest are at a small advantage for the very start of that round because they're not having to worry about picking up a weapon or go out their their optimal route to the fight. So you've got to be careful about where you're placing these weapons. Yes, the M-bar is a nice little upgrade, but is it better than fighting 2v2 for that boom shot? I'm not too sure.
I understand where you're coming from. It's one of those things where, yeah, okay, if Strikers you can get it and hit these shots perfectly, then yeah, it works out. But it's that condition, isn't it? It's that execution that you're relying on.
Yeah.
Rather than just having the pure numbers.
It's timing windows as well. Yep. Can first spawn from EU's Finest get to the boom shot and pick it before Strikers can get in position? Who knows? They know, and it looked like no. The answer was no. They can't get that M-bar in position because he died for it in the end. He didn't get a kill with it. And, his team are now in a rough spot because of it.
Cog team win condition. To see push coming out of RDamage actually, but the kills actually coming in the favor of EU's Finest. Zorka's probably going to have to back on down here. Has actually baited out a drop shot. Obviously getting aggressive, has his teammate with him as well. Zorkos wisely backs on up.
I like it from EU's Finest.
Yeah. Just forcing them out where they need to. But RDamage, you know what? Fair enough. Like to see Zorkos drop on back there, wait for the rest of his team to then push up and have another stab at it. Probably the wisest move. That's a crucial flash, whoever it came from. Crazed and Co, though, looking to defend C here through.
It is so difficult, especially with the torque bow looking over the top. Crazed there connects. Beautiful torque bow. Looks like Cougar's trying to push in for a kill himself, but he's put himself in a 1v2 situation. Not going to be able to trade himself out. 4 members dead now from RDamage, and you'd think from here, EU's Finest should go on to win this round there. The klaxon's ticking and 10 seconds on the clock. Zorkos can't really do anything about it. He's getting flanked as well. Just get a nice shot, but so many hills left to go. I think he can do that.
Yeah.
EU's Finest going to go 4-2 up at the half.
Zorkos gets pushed out after the really strong start by RDamage. EU's Finest flicked a switch seemingly. 4-2 now. 8 eliminations from Zorkos is the standout stat, unfortunately for him, and it's not for good reason. 8 eliminations, that's not that great in 6 rounds.
No, it's not good at all, honestly.
Yeah, he's struggling. He really is struggling, and that really could be the reason they find themselves so far behind. Well, I say so far behind, just behind. Striker's getting very, very aggressive. Will take some shots and sends them back towards Jack and says, you know what? I'm Strikers. You remember how aggressive I am? And makes a push towards him with this Nasher. Now, of course, that's a nice drop shot potentially. Is going to get the hit marker, but not quite enough. Crazed is going to have to back on down. So that issue of the torque bow is momentarily moved out the way. Crimson now does have that drop shot. Does that come flying through from the other side of the map there? Not quite sure, but he is going to back on down either way. It is RDamage with the control, albeit only with 15 points on the board.
Zorkos, they've changed up who's picked up this this M-bar, so maybe they have realised that the timing wasn't quite right for Strikers there. They've switched Zorkos out for Strikers, so Strikers now, first person into that fight, does pretty well in it, to be quite honest. He did secure that drop shot, did force EU's Finest back off that bandstand. So perhaps a good change in strategy there. Just moving some members about.
Let's see what Zorkos can do with this M-bar then.
Hopefully something. Yeah, he's -2 currently, eliminations to death, and yeah, he's not had the best game. If he is that first person into that bandstand, you can kind of understand it if he's just getting rocked every fight.
Yeah, it's just one of those. You know the initials coming through, not quite going in your favour.
Yep.
Thing is, though, he's got a couple of people staring at him. They know the M-bar is up here in blue.
It's one of those snowballing things as well. If you're the first one dead, you're often the only ones, you know, fighting back at the end as well when that push comes on your home hill. So sometimes you end up getting not just 1 death, but 2 deaths for it.
EU's Finest looking for a chink in the armor here of RDamage, it feels. Push towards E comes through. Zorkos hits a nice shot over towards Crazed. And we'll stop that push coming through. Nicely done. RDamage quite happy to sit back on this one. Quite a lead and in control. They are now losing E though, if albeit only momentarily. Now Zorkos going to get himself in a green. This is a good spot for RDamage now to be in. The kills coming in their favour. That's 2 of them. Flopsy and Hydro going down. Going to be very, very difficult for EU's Finest to get something going in this phase of play, at least anyway.
Yeah, you do see the boom shot be used finally, just to keep EU's Finest in it, but they're losing so many points. D-Hill's also getting decapped as well. And Crazed, he's got a flank, to be honest with you, Crazed. He's a bit of an angle. They need to push out here to RDamage because they're going to get shot at from green as well. Crazed, he knows that they're going to make this push. He backs off to Cinema. It's going to be a 1v1. Jack gets taken out with the knife. The boom shot gets picked up. Doesn't really matter. We got 10 seconds, sorry, on the clock. RDamage, they seem to have done enough.
Yep, RDamage just they played the EU's Finest at their own game there. It felt like, you know, it's one of those things where strangle them out a little bit, just slow the game down. They did that well, and we'll take the round off EU's Finest. Zorkos, albeit, you know, we talked about being 8 and 10 before this round, now finds himself with 2 eliminations, and that one of them being a very important M-bar shot over towards the E-Hill. Will get the kill there, and that will ultimately seal the deal for RDamage in round number 7. Incendiary grenades now going to go down for RDamage. EU's Finest now going to come in, and yeah, it doesn't feel like they're going to block them. It feels like they are probably going to do that. Thinking about it, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. In all honesty, yeah, disable comes through, so no incense to contend with, but you have your tugboat over there yourself. So, for EU's Finest, that's a pretty sweet deal. But on the other side of things, of course, looking up towards that boom shot, the M-bar is there for RDamage. So, not necessarily a coin toss, but, you know, stuff to play with on both sides of things for both teams.
And the one thing you have kind of changed as well, not only with the block, but with the change from smoke to incense, is that you've now opened up the turbo to play. Let's see what they can do with it. First shot, first kill. 2 left in the chamber as well. He's looking for his second. Physics knows that he can't pick that up with the turbo. Looking at him, damage is done. Not much. Drops him down about 10% health. Crazed getting lanced out here. Hydron gets 2 for himself, but he's going to get traded out as Crazed, and the drop shot going to go the way of Physics. So he's going to be able to open up. They should be able to get this E-Hill now, RDamage, and they should be able to start clawing in those points. Crimson's has got a good spot over here. You see Hydron actually picking up the M-bar. So he's taken RDamage's weapon. That's super important. And honestly, if you're RDamage, that's a big costly mistake there.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things that RDamage, when they have Physics in the mid-map, he chooses to push down low towards bandstand to help his team.
Sorry, just to cut you off. EU's Finest, they've actually left him there. So even though he had the M-bar, they were happy to sacrifice just 1 member to get it off the map. Yeah. That's important. It's also important to note that they didn't put enough stock in it to go for the revive and try and extract that, which is kind of interesting. Sorry.
I think it's one of those things, though, when Physics made that push through mid, they made the conscious decision that, you know, the drop shot was the important thing to go for over towards E.
Yep.
And, I mean, ultimately, look, they're in control. They may have lost the M-bar. And, yep, okay, I was going to say the tugboat is going to be coming up in a second for Crimson, and this is when EU's Finest do truly have an advantage weapon-wise. If you are damaged, do not poke your head up.
Let's have a look what's going on here. Between the drop shot and the tugboat.
Has to be a good,
charging up.
Yeah, it has to be a good drop shot coming. It's going to come down to a big power weapon play here. Which way does Physics go with it, and does he land it? Crimson's going to catch Zorkos. They know exactly where Physics is. Phelpsy is going to get taken down, though. For all that they know the information, yeah, they can't really do a lot with it.
You can't do a lot with it, but you can stick under that cover. You can get the back heel of the foot, and that's what Crimson was trying to do there. It might have looked a bit of a a bad shot. Maybe some viewers looking at it and going, why is he trying to just shoot the floor there? But he's actually trying to thread it underneath. Good drop shot coming out. Slightly short.
Get up.
Crimson's able to just crawl across and get out.
Jack got a hold of the boom while he was on as well, so he is currently decapped, but works for RDamage. Win condition belongs to them. Hydron is going to find 2. Jack is going to clean this one up as well as his teammate is going to help them do that. This could be a home hill cap. It will be a home hill cap, and that should actually allow EU's Finest a little bit more priority over towards E. Here comes the push. Strikers and Co going to have to deal with this one. Chris is going to take a couple of bullets, but not quite enough to put him down. This is a domination coming through EU's Finest. 5-3 up. And it's that molehill into a mountain. It's that inch into a mile that we talked about and memed about somewhat. But it's one of these things that as soon as they get that advantage, they take it instantly.
That they do, and just little things like denying that M-bar, they escalate and they just keep going, right? And the fact that there was the torp bar on one side, but there was nothing to be able to answering from RDamage was huge. We saw the kills coming, the connections coming. Physics obviously getting shot to hell with that torp bow. And yes, he's got a drop shot, but it's got one less ammo, and it's actually, I think it's easier to dodge, right? Yes, you can hear the torp bow, but on the other side of things, it's once it's charged up and it rips through the air, you ain't dodging it then.
Oh no,
you've got to be aware of it before
that
the shot comes in.
That is a legitimate laser.
Yep. Yeah. It's a beautiful gun.
Well, Crimson Cup heading over towards the bandstand now. Boom shot has been picked up by Cougars up towards the other side of the map. Zorkos and Kodo control of this area, so should be able to get this drop shot. They do get it. A lot of members of EU's Finest dropped, so there should be control here.
Cougars managed to get the boom out. And Zorkos with the drop shot. Yeah, this definitely should be RDamage's round.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, they've got all the control in the world. I mean, with everything you've got, do you invest it over towards D, or do you just maybe play this one slowly? They were thinking about it. Crazy is actually going to win that gunfight over there off camera. But the rest of the gunfight's going over towards RDamage momentarily. Phelpsy trying to make a little bit of a play. Cougars was considering it. He should be able to find Hydron. Ooh, expected the push and will take a couple of bullets for his troubles.
I'm not even sure that... So what Cougars are trying to do there is just trying to delay them, right? So that they can get a member round, so they don't have to waste the boom shot to defend that home hill. The problem is in doing that, in delaying, and EU's Finest not really falling for the bait, they've once again lost their M-bar. And how many times you have to lose it before you start realizing, actually, guys, this is something that we should maybe prioritize. We put it on the map for a reason. We're not utilizing it. I've only seen Zorkos get that 1 kill with it so far. Torp, on the other hand, is it's adding a lot more pressure to that fight down bottom.
Yep. Of course, the EU's Finest have just sort of let that one drop. The M-bar not in play, which disappoints me greatly because I do like some M-bar players. I'm not going to lie to you. However, the saving grace for RDamage is the fact that they are well and truly in the lead in this round. 50 seconds to go. Swarm win condition very much on the board. ENF in control.
Phelps is in a very good position behind them.
He's putting plenty of shots down.
They're just building up for a play. This is all they're doing. They're just trying to get people in position so they can make this play down on E hill. You see Strikers. He's in a bit of a sticky situation here. He's got his teammate beside him. Cougars decides to back off.
Is that drop shot? Is that drop shot coming up shortly? It must be. Cyclone's made the push over. Yep. So Jackfax has got the boom. So surely this drop shot will be coming up very, very shortly. Zorkos is going to win the first gunfight. Is he going to win the second? As the drop shot does come into view. Here come the rest of RDamage. They're in control. They will have the power weapons. This will be another RDamage round. 5-4. It's going to be the score now. I don't think there's any threat of a domination coming out of EU's Finest from this position. 5-4, as said. Trading blows here. Getting there RDamage. EU's Finest still in the lead, but that's an important round. A 6-3, I say it so often. 6-3 compared to 5-4. Very, very different kettle of fish.
You're not wrong. Not wrong at all. And RDamage, they're definitely putting in a better performance this time around against EU's Finest. They looked a bit timid last time we were playing,
and
but
this is their pick, right?
Agreed. Yeah. This is RDamage's pick. So you know, we are seeing them on their map, which is fair enough. You know, you'd expect a better performance there, and yes, they are behind. But I think we would both agree that a couple of mistakes here and there, maybe we're seeing this 5-4 the other way. RDamage, they have looked a lot better than they did when they played them on Asylum a long time ago. And yeah, I am actually pretty impressed that RDamage, they've managed to turn the tides a little bit here. They've been winning these opening fights a little.
Winning the opening fights, and honestly, I think I've just liked their weapon placements. I've liked how they've rotated around the map, but can they get this done? EU's Finest, for all that we are praising RDamage, EU's Finest are still in the lead here. Phelps is going to find a second. Can he find a third? Needs to reload and get around while he can. Zorkos should find him, has the right-hand side cover advantage. Can Crazed avenge his teammate, though? He just about does. The drop shot fight goes over towards EU Finest for the first time in a couple of rounds, in all honesty, and could that be the difference here in round number 10? Reader's going to be dropped by Crimsons as well. M-Bar picked up by Strikers, which did actually get halved, so the respawn of the M-Bar will be pretty frequent now. It's every minute or so. But, honestly, have RDamage done anything with it? No.
Not just yet, and they're losing people in the middle right now.
Get your head down. They know what's coming, though. That's the thing. You can hear that thing a mile off.
Yeah, and it's... The one thing that I will say with this weapon is that you don't have to fire it.
True.
So like when they are dodging those shots, like Strikers should be aware that you don't actually have to fire it, right? You can save the shot. Whereas he's just he's going all out just to try and take that shot. Sometimes that's not the best play, right? Sometimes it is better just to
nearly got him.
Sometimes it is better just to hold on and save the ammo on it. You don't get much ammo in Escalation, right?
No.
There's 3 shots on it, so...
Well, he was very, very close to finding that shot, and it would have helped his team get some control of Blue Crimsons now. Firing the shot away, expecting Strikers to be a step further forward. Pushes forward. Nicely done by Strikers. Nearly landing something, but not quite. Crimsons will catch him out. It's a D-push coming in here from EU's Finest. They know that RDamage are going to have to stretch some sort of resources up here. It's going to allow them greater pressure over towards this E side of things, where we think weapons will probably be coming up very, very shortly as well. Their win condition belongs to EU's Finest. This will put them up 6-4. Drop shot up in 20. That is what...
15.
Boom in 15. That is what both these two teams are going to be playing around. No, Cougars are in a bad spot. He's going to go down. Gets too aggressive. Hydron is there to help his teammate out as Crimsons takes him down. So Hydron will get that boom. Looking over towards the bandstand, though. Tell you what, it is actually... RDamage, the ones in position to do something. Yeah, it's a big kill from Craze, though. Can he find a second as well? On the Strikers, has help from his teammate. Phelps, he finds him. The drop shot could be in play in a second for RDamage, but all of them have dropped down. This is another EU's Finest round. That's going to be 6-4 now. And just so nicely played again. You know what I loved about that is the fact that they got the kill over towards B before the boom shot was coming up, and they sort of faked somebody over towards the home hill of RDamage, and then they wrapped back mid. RDamage sent a couple of members over to the home hill off the respawn. It wasn't enough time, though. EU's finally set up shop in mid-map, and it's just so hard to push through their Lancers in the positions that they are in. Nicely done by them. 6-4 now. 1 round away from closing out map number 1.
See what's going down on the overhead. That looks like shot grenades getting halved for the side of EU's Finest. Reader, he gets this chance to do his own thing. It looks like he's probably going to just half these, maybe. Yeah, let's see what comes in. Yep. Oh, got changed to a frag grenade. It's kind of interesting there. You go from what I feel the incendiary is a more useful tool, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it's a area denying.
Yeah, and it stays there, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the
it
difference.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it doesn't kill people the same way as a frag does, so to speak, but...
It does have a bit of a larger area of effect, though, so much easier to kill people in this the small bandstand, so... If used properly, maybe good, but Jack, he's going to open up with 2. Craze takes out Jack as well. Going to get that, that meat shield here.
Craze trying to get things done here. The leader of the KDA trying to get things done over towards the bandstand. It's very much Craze territory. He is going to get taken down this time by Zorkos. A very, very nice initial gunfight. But in the end, he loses the important one. Zorkos will be able to just about squeeze away with this drop shot. And that's the first time RDamage have had this one in a few rounds. The boom shot, I do believe, has already been used by Crimsons. I think they got it and got red pretty sharpish. Cougars now. Can he start anything with this Ember?
Crimson's just have one shot in this boom shot, so we'll be able to try and use this just to help defend the E-Hill. You can see on the X-ray camera, RDamage, great setup around it. One in Bandstand, one down in the middle there. You do have the supporting Lancerfire from the hotel entrance.
Well, it is Zorkos, the one with the drop shot, so if Crimson's wants to hit anybody, that fella over there, get rid of that. That would be nice.
Do have... I see a bit of a rotation coming from Zorkos here, so just getting a better angle, I think, better higher ground. Cougars does have that M-bar on his back, still one shot left in that.
Yeah, they're going for the home hill.
Gets the second one, actually, so Physics, 2 M-bars on the map. This is kind of interesting now. I think that might have been a little bit of a mistake there to give Physics the M-bar. I would have maybe given Cougars the other one. Obviously... I mean, to be honest, that's a good trade for strikers.
Yeah.
You take that.
Yeah, it doesn't really expect the push to come from that direction, and ultimately already has the boom shot out, ready to use it. It's a great effect, and that's the sort of sacrifice himself there. Physics now put flash down, gonna get a nice shot in there with the Ember. Problem is, there's nobody there to clean it up, and a little bit more support from his teammates there, and he's got himself a nice kill. Is gonna get the meat shield, and that is gonna force Crimson's away after dropping Zorkos, but this is enough now for RDamage to get a hold of this midpoint. Very, very close to finding the head of Crazed. Phelpsy's going to take down Strikers. So there's potential here for Use Finest to looking for a home hill by the looks of things. F is what's going to be pushed for, although the boom shot is there on the way.
Phelps just holding info as well. This is dangerous for RDamage. He's behind them. Means if he can get hold of this overlook here in front of him, and then he has got a fantastic view here. Phelps, a couple of shots down. Doesn't land full shots, but just enough. Just enough to make Strikers know he's there. Strikers actually baiting in here. You see on the right-hand side. Say he's baited in. Hydron says no to that.
Well, Hydron just shuts that down initially. Now it's going to be an E-capture potentially coming through Zorkos. Big fat grenade going to go through. Crazy has probably just jumped into that. Yes, he has.
Take him off the team, just jumping on top of it.
Jacking out in a really rough spot. This should be an RDamage round, it feels. However, the home hills have went over towards EU's Finest. As RDamage go to defend one area, EU's Finest strike in another.
Like the play by Zorkos, just to
really
decide,
nice.
Let's take the easy decap. Let's make sure they're not getting any points on the board. Not for free, at least. Craze going to have to fight for this. Zorkos against Craze. That's a couple of names we've said a lot.
Oh, he's just about managed to win it there. Crazed as well, crucially for his team. I don't know if it's going to be enough, you know. He's won a second. Oh, don't give him the third as well. The KDA leader trying to show why. Does go down to Rita, and this will be a swarm win. I think it would have been irrelevant had Crazed managed that one. 6-5 now. RDamage clawing their way back into this one.
Those grenades did come out in the end. Were utilized, you know, reasonably well. They got
a couple of kills.
Damage down. They got a kill with it.
I want to say they maybe got 2.
They put more prioritization on the opening. They got 1, but yeah, overall, I think you're right. They did get a couple prioritization on the M-bar as well. They managed to get hold of it a lot more. We saw Zorkos with it. We saw Cougars with it to open.
Even if they're not finding kills with it, they're threatening.
And they've got it in the back pocket, right? You've got to respect it if the opponent has it. Whereas if you're giving it to Use Finest, they have the torque bow, they have the M-bar, bit of everything on the map.
Yeah, torque bow back up now. I think it was disabled for quite some time. We haven't really seen it be used too often recently, of course, as it has been disabled. So that one is there now.
Phelpsy getting an extra load out there. So it could be just helping out. Duties, flashing out people or smoking out people.
Right then, which way does this one go? Can RDamage force around number 13, or can EU's Finest shut the door? As said, that Talkbone now in play for EU's Finest. With a pick, not going to find anything. It's a huge grenade coming out of Cougars. That'll be a drop shot as well. Nice start by RDamage.
Not a good torque either from
No, it
Craze.
hasn't been a great performance. And again, rushing them, and it would have been a very flashy shot had he pulled this one off, but his teammates are dropping around him, and Crazed has to back on up, has to defend F here. They're in danger of being dominated, and they're in danger of sending this to round number 13. Boom shot now available for RDamage. Everything is in their arsenal right now. They should be able to force this to round number 13. Crazed trying to do something special. It's not going to happen. It's first map fever here for him.
It is indeed.
Oh, I'll tell you what, though. Hold on.
Everything he can just to try to save this, but 2 members of COG on the floor. RDamage look to be able to lock this in now. 6-6 the score, and fantastic couple of rounds. A great opening grenade by Cougars, and well, they're telling me to shut up with that comment about the incendiaries. They've definitely made a good play there.
It honestly
good placement there.
Would not have EU's Finest used their ban yet?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look what goes on. Rita just trying to work out what they can do. He's hovering that nade. Looking around for something else to do. There's not much you can do. Just load out options, really.
I don't know. Have you used Finest?
I mean, the other option is you go mid, right? You try and look for something in that mid placement and shake things up entirely.
Are they going to get rid of the drop shot?
They'll match loadouts.
Go safe. Feels that way. Yep. That's exactly what it's going to be. Right then. Well, it has to be said that this torque bow is not being used very well by EU's Finest so far. Well, the latter rounds anyway. And we somehow have found ourselves in a round number 13.
Let's have a look at the overhead. Looks like we're going to see a bit of a matchup. The M-bar does get picked up.
Let's see what Chris is going to do with this torque bow. They need to stop this grenade doing much. That's a big flash, I tell you. That's it. Yeah, and he is actually going to pick up Phelpsy with the grenade, but the damage may be done with this torque bow. He's not hitting anything. Jack is doing his best here. Physics is going to get his teammate up. Is it going to be in enough time? Chris has to go massive. Is going to find one. Shots into Zorkos as well. Finds another. It's going to come down to the final shot. It's going to be Zorkos, and he's going to get the drop shot. Across the map, though, nothing captured quite yet. There's so many weapons available. Is that nobody really wants to slow down on these pushes. It is going to be EU's Finest to get a hold of F. So that is actually RDamage's home hill, as far as I'm aware.
My drone, he was a person over there. He's just running for the hills there.
He will go back and try and get a hold of D. Crimson's now has this M-bar as well, looking for the peak.
Yeah, and you know where the M-bar was from?
Yep.
RDamage's home side.
So RDamage, you know what? They haven't done much with the M-bar, so I don't think they'll care. To be honest with you, well, they will care, of course. They don't want Crimson's to have a hold on that, but...
The one thing that I'm going to point out, if you look at Crimson's card on the left-hand side, he did have M-bar and boom shot in his hand. So that wasn't ideal. You see him now. He's just swapped out that M-bar with Jack, so both of them can have a bit of a loadout option, so both of them can get in there and help out. Strikers has picked up the second one.
Oh, God, there's so much in play.
We are going to see these weapons keep stacking up until someone makes a play with one, right? I'm looking at the next drop shot to come up very soon.
Was the drop shot used by Zorkos? It doesn't look like it. He does actually have it out.
Not yet. He did indeed have it out. Crimson's with this boom shot. Still has one shot left. Going to take out Cougars with it, but Strikers turns around with the M-bar and takes his head off. Looking for a second one. Is it going to be Hydra? No. Managed to get out. No shots left on that M-bar. So, Hydra's safe for now. Let's have a look what Jack's doing with the torque bow. He's moving it down towards the E-hill. See if he can make another play with another power weapon.
Zorkos drop shot coming through.
Doesn't quite connect enough. 36% health left on Jack. He's going to survive out.
Here comes the top boys. Are going to stop them getting off it. Well, if anything, it's just going to force him off.
Forces him off indeed. The timer is pretty much neck and neck. Rita falls to Hydra. Not ideal.
It's completely neck and neck.
Zorkos does have that drop shot out once again. Let's have a look what he can do with it. Not much more. More hit markers. Head gets taken off by Phelpsy as well. And this might be advantage EU's Finest.
They should be able to get a hold of E here, but I like this play out of RDamage. They get aggressive. High drone goes down, as does Crazed, and they get the boom, but they've given up the drop. They are going to lose D.
And they've just switched it. They're playing home hills. This is really nice to see from Physics. This is really nice to see from RDamage. They've decided, okay, E-hill, not going to be our fight. They are going to have to contend with their own grenades being thrown at them. Another M-bar on the side. Cougars picks up Hydro now. 5v4 for 10 seconds or so. Hydro going to be back up. And almost, you know, as soon as you've reacted to that RDamage, they've got the kill, but it doesn't matter. They're already back up. And
oh, Crimson's 2 with the drop shot. That's massive.
Looking for his third as well.
Physics is going to have to back on down. This should be D captured. Physics will back on up. These next couple of gunfights, very crucial. RDamage, who's that inside of green? I think there was somebody inside in and around the spawn for RDamage. It is Rita. This is a huge gunfight. The next one that he's going to find, Physics finds Phelpsy. It's absolute chaos across the map.
Where's Hydron going? That's the question. He's got a bit of an angle on Rita, so he's going to probably fall in a second. The shot grenade does cut his route off. Hydron not even going to pick it up. Doesn't matter right about now. Let's see what we can find elsewhere on the map. Cougar's pushing up. He's going to get taken out maybe by Jackfax. No, he clutches up, picks up the meat shield. Crimson's going to have to back up. The torque bow's in Hydron's hands. Doesn't connect. Craze does manage to down Cougars.
Strikers, the ones.
Does manage to take out Phelpsy, and this is all over the place. It's a fantastic round 13.
He is being captured now by EU's Finest, but it is an RDamage win here. If they can hold on to this, Strikers needs to stay alive. Here comes the flash. Jackfax needs to win this gunfight. He needs to win this gunfight. He's being dropped, and I tell you what, this could be RDamage. This could be RDamage now winning it. They're going to get a hold of D. It's a 6-second victory. He's now been decapped. EU's finest drop in map number 1. What a comeback out of RDamage. 3 in a row to send it all the way. And they will win it 7-6. And it just felt as if every single round that RDamage brought back, you just thought, well, EU's finest will probably win the next one. They'll probably win the next one. But RDamage just kept on chipping away. And they end up winning map number 1 on District, which was their pick. They won it 7-6 last week against Rated R. They win it 7-6 this week against EU's finest. And we then go into map number 2 with an RDamage lead.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
I don't think anyone would have predicted that. Honestly, EU's finest didn't look bad on District. That's the exciting thing for me, is that was RDamage. Yes, they made a couple of mistakes. Yes, they let the embark go in those early rounds, but then they realized their mistakes. They managed to prioritize picking that back up, stopping anyone getting over there. And for me, RDamage, they ended up outplaying. The smoke grenade drop to just nullify the torp bow was another instance where RDamage, they played it well because they utilized something that was much lesser in terms of the time it takes to get to it. Yeah. And it blocked out something much more important. Gave him a lot of time to play the map and gave him a lot of time to work things out.
Well, let's have a look at how the series is going to unfold now, because honestly, this is really throwing a spanner in the works. RDamage 7-6 in map number 1. Bunker and Asylum to come up next. And honestly, I think we see Asylum. I think we do.
I think we might.
You know what? We complained the past 3 weeks that we've seen no map number 3s. And I feel as if we're getting 2 in a row here. We're going to see all 6 maps of the EU Pro League this week, I feel. A Bunker coming up next. EU's finest look very, very strong on this map last time we've seen them out. Very strong.
They did look very strong. However, I will caveat that with they were playing very strong against Obey. Obey had telegraphed their strategy on Bunker, worldwide. Yep. We've seen exactly how Obey play it, and EU's finest look very good at countering that specific strategy. That's the caveat. Yes, they did look very good, and I'm not disagreeing with that. But it was targeted, right? It was targeted goodness, essentially. Goodness. Yes. Goodness.
Goodness me.
It was. Whether or not they have that same impact against RDamage, because, that was EU's finest leading the way with that drop shot in the middle there.
Yeah.
RDamage seemed to cope with it quite well.
It was ever since the grenade came in, to be honest with you, we were a bit like, oh, really? Like, why would you bring this in? But ever since...
In hindsight, I take back what I said. They made it work. I would have thought EU's finest would have respected that a little bit more and tried to change up how they were playing that area. They didn't. They just tried to force the fight through. And Torp bow wasn't doing anything.
No, they weren't really landing anything with it. And I think that's the thing. You got to be super accurate with a Torp bow. The grenade is like, well, yeet, and just throw it in. And it's one of those things that it's not difficult to do. Yes, okay, it's risky to a point, but you can cut off certain areas. It's a lot easier of a weapon to make good use of. Whereas the Torp bow, yes, okay, if you're accurate, it's devastating at times. You can find 3 clean kills.
We saw it with Warrior Guns, right?
Exactly.
In the previous games.
You can find 3 clean kills with that one, whereas the grenade is sort of just, you probably find 1 or 2, but they were just more efficient with it. RDamage, in all honesty, and it really not enough with the Torp bow out of EU's finest. I think that's probably one of the main reasons they end up losing drop shot a lot. And then even though that all happened, the end of that round was still pretty crazy. I really like how RDamage played it. When they knew they lost E, they just diverted all attention towards the home hills, and they were like, we are not going anywhere near that because the drop shot's in play. Works out in their favor. They take map number 1. We are going to be heading over to Bunker very, very shortly. We'll be getting it started up very, very quickly. We are feeling EU's finest on this map, though. Surely, you would think? I mean...
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. I mean, look, I favored them in map number 1.
Yeah,
so, it's one of those things.
But out of those 2, I would have gone District over to RDamage.
Yeah.
It is their pick. We've seen them win on it. We've seen them do exactly the same the last time they played and scrapped it out to around 13, right? And ended up winning it then. And honestly... yes, you will give it to EU's finest. I will give it to EU's finest as well. And I think we will see that map 3. But I also think it could be close again. I think this is a map that, if played properly, RDamage can take their time a little bit more on and can work out what's going on. And, given the time, they can match EU's finest in those situations. I think it's an interesting series. I think the switch... I think the switch from Zorkos to Strikers in that fight down low was another catalyst for RDamage coming through and winning that. They realized Zorkos was not winning their fight, whether it was someone else calling that or whether it was Zorkos himself just saying, look, I can't match this right now. That change made a big difference. Strikers held his own down there as soon as he got put down there. lots of things to think about going into the second map. And if Strikers is in that fight again, that maybe down at that artillery area fighting for a big weapon, like the drop shot that we saw there last time, you know, maybe it does go RDamage's way again, that mid-fight.
Possibly. I'll maybe give you guys at home maybe a couple of minutes to think about this one. We're still waiting on a couple of guys getting into the lobby. I've been told we're nearly ready for them to go. So I was going to try and send it to a break, but we're nearly ready. We're nearly ready. So we'll wait for this one to get started very, very shortly. But look, I think if EU's Finest can just play their classic game of, you know, sitting back, Lancer fire going down, etc., etc., they should be able to win this map. But I think it really has thrown a spanner in the works. RDamage winning that one. They played it so well. In all honesty, you know what? It's coming down to those little gunfights, those little Nasha fights. It was that one at the beginning of the final round where Zorkos just about beat Kraze to it. Kraze did well to get to that point.
So close.
But it came down to a couple of slugs here and there, and that's the difference. That's the difference. Then, you know, if EU's Finest get a hold of that drop shot, do you see them really, you know, losing that map control? Probably not.
Not really.
In all honesty, it's one of those where they don't give up.
The other question
how many times have we said it?
In that exact situation is that, do you see RDamage coming out with that as well?
Yeah.
If Kraze doesn't push for that second fight, because he picked up the kill, right? He picked up the down on physics, and then also, even though he was red, still tried to fight Zorkos. He could have just backed up. Like, they were very even, right?
Yeah.
I know you're saying, yeah, it's crazy. He's not going to back up. He thinks he's the best player in Europe, and rightly so right now. You know, he's leading the KDA leaderboard. You know, he's one of the players that's been at the top for a very, very long time now. But in that situation, sometimes your team needs you alive. Sometimes the kill isn't the most important thing, and that control was. Yeah.
Well, they managed to win it RDamage, and they've sent us to the second map with the lead to them. Surprisingly, it has to be said, we are loading into Bunker right now, though. I'm interested. I'm really interested. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, RDamage can definitely win this. You know, EU's Finest, the only maps they've lost were against Red Dawn. They got 2-0'd pretty quickly. Do you feel as if they're a team that if they go down, especially in like a Pro League setting like this, and they're just like, ugh, for God's sake, sort of thing, you know? Yes, okay, they want to beat them, but sometimes they can maybe just like, oh, obviously not on night, whatever, you know, and they maybe sort of turn off a little bit, or do you think they'll be very, very keen to make sure that RDamage know their place here?
I think the one thing that will be a little tilting about this is that it is RDamage, and it's in Europe. I think if this was, you know, loser bracket Gears 4 major, and you're fighting your way back up, no, it doesn't tilt them at all, because they've been in that situation so many times. They know every team around them is that strong. That, yes, they do go in, you know, anticipating that at some point they may be in there. Against RDamage, that is tilting. They are their kryptonite. Their kryptonite has just beat them. RDamage looking strong.
Well, EU's Finest obviously already playing Bunker once and winning that one. Going up against Obey Alliance, of course, but going up against RDamage is a very, very different prospect here, especially as they find themselves 1-0 down. RDamage now in control of this series. Can they do it in 2, or do we see a map number 3? I mean, I'm going with the map number 3 theory, I'll be honest, but you never know. RDamage, they've surprised us in map number 1. Could they surprise us in map number 2?
They may indeed. Having a look at the overhead, it does look like RDamage putting more pressure over towards the artillery area, the area we called out before. Strikers is down here in that fight, so expect a lot of action to be evolving over here. Hydron's going to open up this map with the first kill on Reader. Second kill going to go to Phelpsy as well. Cougar's going to get the down. Cougar's just holding this mid-tunnel. There is a nice angle here, and it is pretty safe from any fire up top, so no surprise. B-Hill going to go over to EU's Finest, though. Things settling down a little bit. Yep,
one of those where, you know, those first couple of rounds are really long respawn timers, so nobody wanting to give anything away too much, as things can take a turn for the worst very, very quickly. Jack Fax here, though. And for EU's Finest, getting themselves set up. Cougars and Kodo making the push. Here comes the flash grenade. That's going to get Jack out of there pretty much, and will be dropped. Hydron goes through, tries to get him back up. He gets dropped. Phelpsy now. A one-man mission and a whole world of trouble. If he gets out of this, he'll do very, very well, I tell you. He makes it a 1v1 in the end. Reader helping him out with the kill on the physics, but in the end, it is left to Reader in a 1v1 against Crimsons, and they will get a hold of B by the looks of things. They're just going to force them away. EU's Finest happy to back on down. They do have a slight lead. They will lose B, though.
Yep, Zorkos just get taken out, so Crazed doing well to find that. Crimson's also doing well to get that down. Nice look there as he just He does put a lot of damage down at once into Rita. He's going to get control of this B hill. He's going to get control of this map for his team. And once again, RDamage, they're going to have to try and work out this puzzle that is EU's finest setup. For us, it's easy. We see everyone on the overhead map, right? We see everyone on the X-ray camera as well. The line is set up for EU's finest. 2 up top. 1 just hiding slightly back. They sit back a little bit there because they've got that height advantage, so they can get a bit more of a perspective on what is happening. Cougar's just trying to test the waters a bit, see what he can get. He's going to get lancered from 3 locations, though. You see that top control is proving really useful for EU's finest. Shrink down onto Cougars. He's pushed all over the place. He's done well. Striker's going to be the one that does fall, put himself in a bad situation there. Should have known not to go there, actually, because Cougars a second ago was getting lanced from up top.
Well, they actually have back to EU's finest down, though. EU's finest are very good at that, aren't they? You know, we talk about Craze was never going to back down in that 1v1 in round number 13. Team, yes. But as a team, they know when to actually, you know, back it on down and sort of say, right, this is not our fight, back out. Let's have another stab at it. But right now, the win condition is with RDamage, although it will change pretty quickly as EU's finest not too far away themselves. Actually losing it as they lose a couple of gunfights here. This could be a domination. I don't even think EU's finest are close enough to do anything about this. Yes, they are just about. Physics trying to get it done, though, and does find 2. But the rest of his team are actually dropping. Regal, Strikers, and Rita both going down over towards B, but RDamage, they're the ones in control here. This should be a first round over towards them. I don't think EU's finest are that quick and can't quite get there. RDamage, round number 1.
Just like that.
Nicely done.
Just like that, they flipped the switch. A great movement there by Physics to get himself in a position just to force EU's finest to play a different game to what they wanted to. And then, double kill comes out. Beautiful bit of skill there from Physics on show. And there's another one, another potential for your highlight reel opening up this map already. RDamage kicking off where they left.
Yep, starting things off very, very nicely. But I just feel as if EU's finest, they're sometimes losing track of where RDamage are at times, because that's how that came through. The fact that they had to dictate resources back over towards radar. It was one of those situations where they probably didn't expect themselves to be in.
No, and that's good work on RDamage's part to really find that path through, right? That route through. The one route that EU's finest were not going to spot them on, and he's done just that. He's done perfectly just that as well, right at the right time.
We'll read it. To push with Physics here, as it looks like EU's finest quite happy to get control of up top bunker. Hydro and Kodo now will make their move over.
One of the joys about third-person shooters, you get to look around corners. Both Hydro and Rita understanding, okay, there is an enemy there. Flash is going to come out.
He's going to find the first drop on a Craze, though, as Phelpsy finds one at the Physics, but these kills momentarily going over towards RDamage. Once again, nicely done by Hydro to get out and find the kill. Has his teammate there for company as well. Rita's going to have to back on down, but it feels as if he's backing into a corner against Jackfex in the middle of the map, who backs out after finding the kill. Nicely done. EU's finds this. They have B. They don't have much else, though. RDamage are playing this really nicely. Seems as if they're just finding gaps to squeeze themselves into, and they're finding points because of that. Zorkos in a bad spot, but he is actually going to be able to lance it down. EU's finest can't break on through here. This chokehold is very hard to break through, apparently. Zorkos obviously has support from other areas of the map. We can see a couple of members of RDamage are actually making their way over here to try and just solidify this defense.
So you've got Strikers over on this side, and then you've also got Cougars and Zorkos just holding that doorway. You need a smoke or a flash to get through here. We saw the flashes were already used, so they're actually going to back out here. Crazed is going to hold this angle on his own.
Look at the minimap with the bottom right corner. It looks as if EU's finest are just going to push through the broken side.
Yeah. Jack now cutting off the other route, so just trying to defend his teammates here, but so many people down. Phelps is going to clean up that last kill. Hydron's going to get picked up. Reader's going to get taken out. The B hill is going to get defended, but it was pretty close. We see on the other side of things as well, they're just going to leave the C hill.
They're going to wrap back through. I think Zorkos, honestly, for me here, he can't really back down. I was going to say back down through the other direction, but Crimson's is there to seal the deal. This is looking like a swarm domination. It's looking like an EU's finest domination. That should be the case as Physics goes down, and they play that very, very well this time round.
I have to question who and why RDamage did die at the neutral hill there, because they had a very good home hill setup.
Yeah.
And there was, you know, they were contesting the B hill, even though, you know, it was a flat 2v2. You had 2 of your own home hills. You had beautiful control over their opposition home hills.
You should probably just move away from the opposition one. And well,
literally that.
Yeah.
Just get away from it. Get up top. Get some high ground.
Rotate back over towards B. Have a flank going on over towards artillery. I mean, look, I think the problem is that they were holding C so well. They're like, well, screw it. Let's just stay here and hold this. But then immediately you are so far up that, you know, if you lose that gunfight over towards B, you lose it over at C, and suddenly you're in a horrible spot.
Yeah.
And you just finally take the round.
I'd have to watch that one back to truly understand what RDamage were trying to achieve there. Maybe they were just trying to go for that easy domination when they knew they had, you know, 2 members caught out, but in the end it snowballs and He's finally come out with that victory. Right, trying his best.
Okay. I mean, they definitely look like they would have connected, but Zolkos will win that situation either way. RDamage getting these initial gunfights. Crim's going to have to back on down. Strikers will find him running though. Caught these pants down a little bit. And it just feels as if RDamage are maybe moving around the map a little bit better here as they get a couple of kills. They're getting aggressive over towards A and they smell blood in the water. RDamage flash go through. Jack Fax and Co are pinning, but to be honest, if I'm RDamage, pin them in here works out as well. They're just going to back on down. EU's finest will now have to second guess themselves on the way out. And look, this is different. Like, if you are RDamage and you set up shop over towards B, then you can just sort of wait on the push coming from EU's finest. You hope you win it. This situation, though, you've pushed forward, you've got aggressive. EU's finest have to battle out of it. That's the thing. That's the difference. So much more real estate for RDamage to play with. They've got so much more of the map to play with. Right now they have B and C, and it's a longer route there for EU's finest.
They do. Strikers, he's on his own a little bit there. Might get caught out. You do see some help coming over here in the form of physics, but honestly, looks like the push is going to be up top. As you see Craze, they are going to push up. They're going to isolate Reader out here. I like what they're doing. Hydrone, he did manage to just hold that middle ground. It meant that physics couldn't support that fight at all. Strikers, he couldn't really do much either because he was too far over to this side. The fight's going to come in.
RDamage in a really bad spot here. Physics and Strikers both going down. It will be a B cap now for EU's finest. I think they should win in 2. Not quite. There you go.
Yeah, so slightly.
So RDamage, if they can hold C here, they will win it. So just hold one push, get a hold of B. You should be all happy and smiling, to be honest with you, but they just have to hold them off. EU's finest here now. Because RDamage are turtling up, have time to set up for this. Yes, okay, they don't have a lot of utility to play with. They just really have their Lancer. Yep. Strikers being shot from behind. Hydrone could be the one that causes issues. Strikers in a really bad spot will just about get out.
So EU's finest,
it's a hard break, this.
They need to break. They need to do is get someone out from inside. And yeah, if you're RDamage, the best thing you can do here is find some kills of your own. You see the pushes coming through your own home hill? Go forward, take the kills out. Strikers just holding the doorway. Isn't going to connect there, just misses his first shot. Doesn't miss his second one though. Knives coming out. Slasher here. Strikers takes out 2. And Crimson's Hydra does fall, looking for his 3rd. Bit of bounce on display. RDamage going up 2-1 there. And it was close, to be honest with you.
It was.
But a nice defense there from RDamage. They held that well.
Nicely done by RDamage. And speaking of damage, it was already done by the time EU's finest made their push, and that's really what made things a bit more difficult.
Yeah, by the time they were outside that C hill, they had about 8 seconds they had to break the home hill for before the double cap would have overtaken it. And 8 seconds is a long time, actually.
Double drop shot now in place. At the home hills, of course. So, into the next round we go. RDamage once again with a lead. Could they do this at 2 here? Through, I mean, it would take us all off guard. I think, you know, a few people would have said, yeah, maybe they can take them up. Most people would have said 2-0 to EU's finest, considering these two guys' history. Could RDamage answer back with a 2-0 of their own? And it would be important, you know, when you talk about matchups, etc. You talk about rounds won, not just the win. If they were to win in 3, that's still positive. But to do what EU's finest did to you previously as well would be massive. But Coogie's going to find one. He's going to get taken down by Crimson's though. Kill's being traded here. The drop shot's going to come through from Crazed and we'll get a kill on a Reader with it.
Good flank coming up here. Looks like EU's finest are ready for it though. Pistols everywhere. What the Wild West.
Well, B should be going over towards RDamage now, so control belongs to them. EU's Finest going to have to battle back here.
We've seen this so many times, though, the last few rounds. I mean, EU's Finest, they broke it one time. They almost broke it a second time, but RDamage did manage to hold off. Zorkos does get it down. Are they going to be able to clean it? Yes, they are, and that's huge, getting Hydra out the map. See what Cougars can do. Crash comes in.
To back on down. Really nicely done by RDamage, who just seem to be fighting so aggressively and just really feeling themselves. Crazed is eventually probably going to clean this one up. It does so. The rest of your team getting work done here as well. Rita going down also. It is still a COG team win condition. So Zorkos and Co just trying to stay alive, just trying to prolong the potential inevitable here. The elimination was potentially going to come through. The domination still could. Craze now is capturing A. Here come the rest of the team as well. Has to be a break from RDamage, has to be clean as well. They are going to slow it down momentarily. Phelpsy will find one. EU's Finest. Are they going to be able to get this one done? Strikers and Rita trying to push through. Phelpsy and Kodo just finding every single kill they need. Everybody dropping. There comes the elimination. Would have been a domination. It was a domination in the end. 2-2 now. And some drawn out rounds here. We've not seen any quick ones, in all honesty, and that's the first time we've seen it be under really 3 minutes, to be honest with you. It seems as if these two teams very well matched here on Bunker.
That they are, and this is going to be interesting. I'm guessing the two drop shots are going to get halved out again here. Interesting to me that EU's Finest haven't gone for that middle placement this time around. They have decided to go and match these drop shots out on either side. So you see Craze now hovering this drop shot, probably going to get taken down to 75 seconds. Just taking the time probably just to talk to his team, understand the play, understand what the priorities are for this round. Obviously, nothing too crazy getting changed up here, so expect it to play out pretty similar to how the previous round played out. Perhaps with a couple more explosions in there.
A couple more explosions. We like explosions.
Yeah. Makes things fun.
Makes things fun, yes. Right, well, can RDamage get a lead here once again? EU's Finest, I don't think have been in the lead at all. Here it's must be an RDamage winning a round, good in the lead. EU's Finest answering back. So, can EU's Finest eventually string 2 rounds together here? That's the question. Hydra trying to finish Rita, can't quite do it. The Lancer Fire coming through, eventually does though. Here comes the drop shot, not quite landing for RDamage, and now Hydra can get aggressive. He knows that drop shot is not in play. So do the rest of EU's Finest, and they will get a hold of B.
They will. We see the up top fight. Let's have a look what's going on here. Striker's just trying to do his best just to defend the hill. He's going to push down into 3 people. I'm not sure that was the wisest play he could have made there. He'd forced EU's Finest off the top, right? And then just ran down the hill into maybe momentum's carrying him down there, but honestly, sometimes you have to question these things because it wasn't the smartest of plays. That said, Rita, nice flashbang there to help his teammate out. He's going to get taken down himself. Didn't manage to connect that shot as well to clean up the kill. Headshot coming out from Phelpsy. Nice down from Jack as well, and this looks like EU's Finest potentially managing to snowball a few kills into a few more.
Cougars just trying to get the hell out of dodge there. And a few members of EU's Finest firing at him, but he will get away. It's a C-push coming out of the EU's Finest boys. Cougars in a bad spot. He's going to get taken down. Drop shot on hand for Crazed. Actually, 4 RDamage. Rita has found a couple of kills here, actually. Hydra and Phelpsy both going down. Nicely done from him. Physics will get the drop shot on the RDamage side of things. I think that's crucial, you know, for EU's Finest to even get in there for a decap and get a hold of the drop shot.
Yep.
You know, even if they don't get a hold of the hill, it's absolute danger zone.
Things like that.
RDamage, but nicely done by EU's Finest, nicely done by Jack.
Beautiful kill by Jack, but 3v1, really, RDamage should know better. They've been around long enough not to know that. Oh, crazy. Oh, no. He gets 3. He's looking for his 4th as well. There's no one there. He's killed everyone already.
Physics able to answer back. Not quite in the same vein, though. 4 for Crazed. It's what we've come to expect, let's be honest.
Be honest, indeed. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He's showing us his moves. Got the clap on the go as well. Oh dear. Have your limelight. You've done well. You deserve that one.
Well, there you go. For the first time, EU's Finest will string 2 rounds together here on Bunker. And will find themselves in the lead for the first time, as said. Cougars, 9 eliminations for him. Won't be too concerned about that yet. The eliminations, I mean, well and truly in the favour of EU's Finest, but only a very slight lead.
The eliminations are the concerning thing for me, to be honest with you. Just almost double for the side of EU's finest already is it's kind of frustrating, and crazed already. 20 for 3. What a scoreline. If you can keep that up, that's outperforming his average.
He's quite good at Gears of War.
I'd say that too.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption from myself. You know, I don't call myself an analyst, but you know, sometimes we drop things like that, and you know, the whole world goes crazy.
Can anyone disagree?
I don't think they can. I mean, it's just straight facts from your boy. Anyway, Chris is having a good game.
I agree.
Water is wet. RDamage now, trying to get back into this one. Zorgos will get pipped at here, and bottom bunker, and we'll have to back on down. So the setup over towards B. I think EU's finest to look for the kills up top bunker, and they only will probably engage, but most of it really has been orientated down low, and they've said, you know what, Craze, you go up top and try and do something, and I'd imagine he'll probably pull it off. But here we go. Physics is actually going to make the push up to the halfway side now, and should be able to get a hold of B, but that's just probably going to engage the rest of EU's finest who start moving. Hydrone at the forefront, trying to get something done. We'll have to back on down. The Lancer fire from his teammates is enough to stop RDamage killing him, but not quite enough to get them away from the hill. And here comes more Lancer fire coming in, but not quite landing for EU's finest here. Striker's behind as well. He's going to get taken down by Phelpsy. That might be the numbers advantage that EU's finest needed.
You have to ask what his game plan was there. I mean, maybe trying to catch someone from EU's finest off guard, but straight down middle map. it's not the most subtle. Game
plan was run
plays.
At them and see what happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's these decisions you have to make. Albeit, you know, in hindsight, it wasn't a good one. But you know, if he managed to sneak around behind, find one kill, opens things up, the rest of his team then push on through. I mean, it's all hypothetical because he died. But you know, it's one of these things that maybe you just try it. But here we go, big gunfight going on now. RDamage trying to get things done. Crimson's is going to be dropped in the middle and picked up as well. Jack is just about going to be stopped getting the kill on the Strikers. Nicely done by RDamage. They will get a hold of B, and they will force EU's finest back to their home hill.
Looks like they're going to try and fight for this, actually. Yep, Jack just eliminating himself there. They do get the B hill. They do realise that perhaps not the best idea. And they're going to go back, and they are going to set up. You can see them just trying to find their positions right now. Zorkos holding mid-artillery. Strikers on that mid-flank. See at the back there. Who's that? Sneaking around the back. It is Reader. He's going to be the stock there, just holding everyone together. Let's have a look. Jack just really sure what he's doing. I think maybe just clearing the upstairs just to make sure there's no one up there.
Yep.
They were out of that area for quite a long time, so
I mean, it would be
check.
Yeah, it would be disastrous, wouldn't it? You know, if you get yourself in that position and then there's Lancer fire coming from behind up top, that's never a good spot to be in. But this is RDamage looking to tie things up here.
Big fight here for Crimsons.
It's going to get to the point now where it's really going to have to be a 3 cap, or at least a D cap on the home hill. You feel. I think 1 would do it just about enough for RDamage. Reader's going to get a kill onto Jack as well with help from Zorkos. They're defending B very, very well. They're going to defend it long enough and will tie things up. 3-piece now, long rounds here as well.
Tied at the half once again as well.
Yeah, I mean, this really could go either way. There's not really been enough from either side for me to definitively say this is going in one direction, but as you said, we're at the half, so things get swapped around. Home hills now do move, and E goes up top bunker.
The question is from here, does one team decide to go down that middle line, or are we going to stay evens? Because RDamage, you know, they're historically they don't do that, right? They play the safe game. They keep those power weapons to themselves. They've been alright with that drop shot, to be honest with you, in recent rounds.
Yeah, they've done alright with it. They've been a lot more efficient than they have been in the past. And I want to say that EU's fights have been maybe a little bit more wasteful than they usually have, in all honesty. Typically, they're hitting 90% of things, but I think we're so used to them hitting 100% of it that it sometimes can catch us off guard when they aren't perfect. It's sometimes a query that can come out. But Zorkos is going to find one in Phelpsy and will go down for his troubles though. Physics trying to get something done up top here. It's a big gunfire for him to try and win, and Crimson's just pulled his pants down there, let's be honest. Nicely done by him, and he will now make this push down low over towards the home hill of RDamage. Craze is controlling up top, not somebody really want to run into up here. And look at the aggression coming out of EU's finest, just quite happy to set up shot up top bunker. And that is not something you want to try and push against. Look at that. What do?
You go a different way is what you do.
A different way.
As Cougars, You don't stay there. You move.
Cougars, you are doing very, very little there, let's be honest.
He's just holding sightlines, right?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
He's doing very little, but his presence there is enough just to make EU's Finest realize that they can't move too far away.
Well, RDamage forced them away.
Yep, 4v3 though, so you got to look at what's happening elsewhere. And it looks maybe like Strikers. Is Strikers? No, he's alright. He's on his own. Just
trying to put the crossfire in. Hydron's probably in a bad spot here. Zorkos is going to get pinned back though. The shot's not just quite landing here for RDamage as EU's Finest still in control of this round and still with that win condition. Cougars are going to find the drop on the Jack Fex though, so this could be the push that they do need over towards E. Jack is dropped. Phelpsy did drop Physics though. He will be picked back up and aggression comes through from RDamage. Nicely done by Zorkos. Crazed will be taken down. E will be capped. Well, because of all that concentration over towards the top side of things, F is now going to be capped by EU's Finest. Strikers are going to win a very nice gunfight against Hydron, and they will go for EU's Finest home hill. Right now, though, will it be the win condition that RDamage need? No, it will not. It's a swarm win condition, so EU's Finest in a good spot here. Still, they only need one hill held for the next 30 seconds and they will win the round.
Yeah, the fact that Phelpsy had, a member on both sides pinching him and he's managed to come out there with the down, kept himself alive as well, is huge for EU's Finest in this round. They seem to be getting kills elsewhere as well, but I'm more interested right now in this home hill defense. Can Strikers do anything about it? No, he can't. Crimson shuts him right down. Elimination victory going to come in for EU's Finest, 4-3. But honestly, one little shot elsewhere in that fight against Phelpsy, it opens up a 2v1 on that home hill. Perhaps RDamage come in and win that.
Something a little bit different, yeah.
It is. It's nothing. There's nothing between these two teams. It is literally one gunfight that has determined that round.
Well, boom shots are out for one more round. Are we going to see anything crazy here from either one of these two teams? Are we expecting any mid drops here? Are you?
I'm not too sure. As I mentioned, I think the way that EU's Finest played Bunker last time was very targeted against a specific playstyle from Obey. I think in this matchup, they'll play something safer because historically safer has been better for EU's Finest, right? They played safe against RDamage last time around. They won very convincingly. They played risky, I guess, against RDamage the previous map and they lost it. So perhaps that's their thinking. Obviously don't have full information, but just based on what I understand of these players, these teams.
Yeah, so you think that EU's Finest sort of think in their head that on a level playing field,
we're better.
We're better.
Yeah.
Which is fair. It's a fair assumption to make. I think if you're EU's Finest, Cougars and Kodo are going to get a hold of E off that initial fight. I think it was Strikers who actually found the first kill. So EU's Finest have to back on down and will have to fight from the rear here and try and get something done. Phelps again very, very aggressive. That's going to be Zorkos who has to back on down now in a 1v2. Up top finds one under Hydron. He's done so well. He is going to go down though, but the help comes through. And he did enough. The fact he found one was enough.
Yeah, he did do enough. I mean, Cougars has kind of just given that advantage up entirely there. He might be able to get out here, but realistically, he shouldn't have been able to get out there. It was good play by Reader to get him up and keep him alive.
2v2 here.
Going to repay the favour.
Yeah, Reader is going to get back up. Now gets aggressive. Here comes the flash. I think that actually might have been from an RDamage player. And what he's done is flashed everybody.
Yeah.
And Reader's actually managed to win the gunfight. So it works out in RDamage's favour. EU's Finest now. Gonna have to get some solid Lancer fire down here.
It is a 4v3 up top if they're very quick about it. They need Zorkos to be able to help out to get in this fight.
Well, where's the other two members of EU's Finest?
Well, one will be coming off spawn, as you can see at the back there. The other one, Phelpsy, right down here. So absolutely no input into this fight up top unless RDamage decides to push down this middle tube.
Smoke comes through. That's going to allow Crimsons to push up to the boxes.
And, they just get that member off spawn. They just get crazed back. And just like that, they're already making a play. It's within the second. As soon as it's 4v4, EU's Finest, they're the ones making the play.
Flash out, EU's Finest start to gain some ground down low. Hydron's going to chase that one. Physics is going to get caught though. Has now been decapped. That still works out for RDamage though. Hydron does find the kill on Zorkos though. It's momentarily a 3 versus 3. Both teams trading kills effectively here. It is going to be Reader to get this one back for RDamage. But the problem is that they've lost their home hill now. It's a COG team win condition still of 1 hill.
About 10 seconds in it. So very, very easy for EU's Finest to get back into this and make sure that this is theirs. They just need a quick decap or so. Looks like that's what they're going to go for.
Maybe easier said than done. Jack is actually not going to be able to land these bullets onto Reader, who just about escapes. D and E now in the favor of RDamage. He's looking cool, getting this one done, you know. They're going to tie this up. It's looking that way, unless Chris can do something special. It's not out of the question. One Hill still does it, though, and I just don't think they've got enough time to get over towards D. This should be an RDamage round. 3 seconds to go now. Not going to be able to decap this one in time. RDamage will level things up.
Nice round out of them. Long round out of them. Almost 3 minutes there. Potentially, you know, well, definitely not potentially. 2-0's definitely on the card still for RDamage.
It is. I mean, Craze is 30-5.
Don't want to jinx them. I mean, looking down the scoreboard entirely, Crimson's 28-8 as well. I think, was he the person behind him in the lowest deaths category?
Yes, he was,
did have the lowest deaths overall?
He did have the lowest deaths before this. I think he had 55.
55, so just a few less than Crazed, and mashing in with kills as well.
It's crazy, though, because they're so close to the top of the kills leaderboard, but so close to the top of the least deaths leaderboard as well. It's bloody insane. Anyway, Incense down, Marks are down for RDamage by the looks of things there, so something different. What do RDamage fancy doing with this Moxer?
So that's kind of interesting.
Bunker control or get up top control on their home side?
I mean, you're probably going to take it up top and just shoot across top bunker, to be honest with you. I mean, I am wondering if EU's Finest is setting up for a boom shot artillery, sorry. With that instant, that's what they placed down when they had that boom shot down there, that drop shot down there last time. So it'll be interesting to see what the next weapon placement is. Well,
kill's being traded. Reader is actually going to find 2. He's done well. The drop shot will not find anything from Craze there. They look destined to find a kill, but they aren't going to get E.
Reader's
drop shot wasted. Reader's just went off. Nicely done from him. Blood splattered all over him as well. He's getting in plenty of fights. Nicely done by Reader. He wins a couple down low, and suddenly RDamage have control of up top. They have E and F. They have perfectly well placed Cougars with a drop shot. They should still have that Markser as well on physics. Good spot to be in if you're RDamage.
Cougars just misses the first drop shot. Isn't going to have a second one, so that's all all the drop shots he's going to have actually. Pistol going to come out. This is where EU's Finest trying to get a bit of top control. This is where the Marks should also come in as well.
Yeah, there it is. Strikers is actually raining down with the Lancer. Sorry, Physics not really getting much done with the Markster that we can see on the kill feed anyway, but what we can see on the kill feed is mostly RDamage kills. Physics now coming up top, getting aggressive with it, and they're going to force them out. Craze is in a horrible spot here. He will drop down. Hydro now is going to be pinned in. RDamage are getting aggressive here. The respawn's starting to come up now. Have to just be careful not to give away too much here.
And that's what EU's Finest are currently playing for. You saw Craze stick himself so far into that corner. All he's doing there is just buying time for Hydrone to put himself in a situation where he can slow down RDamage. As soon as RDamage actually get past that slowdown, he hightails it. He's gone, right? He's all the way over here on your home hill now.
Both drop shots actually belong to RDamage now. They managed to get EU's Finest drop shot and get out.
Got a kill with it as well.
Reader will take down Phelpsy. That's another tool that EU's Finest would have loved to get a hold of to try and get these hills back.
Oh, Cougars. Oh, Zorkos. This is beautiful.
Wow, everybody's dead.
Phelpsy's just respawned himself up, but
that's it.
That's about it. Yeah, they're gone. 5-4 now, RDamage.
I mean, 2-0 RDamage is not something I would have predicted. I don't think it's something anyone would have predicted at this point. But it's very much on the cards here for they've looked better. I mean, I know it's easy to say when they're up, but they've looked genuinely better in the majority of these rounds.
Yep.
What's going to happen this time around? Are they going to get rid of that mark set?
Torpo
actually going in. Sorry, that was indeed RDamage. Just picks up EU's Finest now. We'll upgrade that to a boom, we think. There it is. Right. It's a long timer on the boom and the Torque.
Yep.
What do you prefer this map?
I prefer the Torque, but I think that's a much better placement. I think you've got that, that utility to shoot across the top. Yes, the boom shot, if you can hit that from up top.
But that's in a place you would much prefer it down at windmill, right? When you're like, I mean, the drop shot you can use at much more of a range.
Yeah.
Whereas the boom shot, it's not really.
It depends what they're doing with the boom shot. In fact,
they're going for home hill.
Yeah, if they play home hills with this, or if they force the fight straight across the top, then it's useful, and that's what it looks like they've done. Crimson's has pushed very, very quickly. With that though, with the Torpo, you should be moving that around to the opposite home hill. It looks like they've actually done a bit of a swap there, have EU's Finest. So there is someone still in front of Physics, which has blocked that. But he's only shot, one shot out with this, and EU's Finest have been flying across that top.
They've just been playing so quick and aggressive.
Yep.
And Physics has been able to do nothing with the tugboat. Here they come. Is he going to land anything? Not quite. Gets a hit mark on a Crazed. Not going to be enough to stop anything, though. Merely a flesh wound. And now RDamage have to battle back. For probably the first time here, that you know, the majority of the time they are getting those initial gunfights and they are getting control of E. Physics helping his teammate there as Jack does go down. Should be able to be revived here. It's Hydro putting plenty of shots down from up top artillery. Crimson's getting pushed back. Crazed is going to take down his teammate as well. So RDamage still not in a position to get a hold of E, but not as bad of a spot as they were in.
Just trying to be a thorn in EU's Finest side. You see him just pushing so far back. EU's Finest happy just to defend on the home hill. Reader's going to get caught out as well by some great Lancer fire from Hydro. But in the end of things, Physics just trying to draw time, much like we saw Craze do last round. Now Physics doing the same here. Problem is, this time around, he's at a disadvantage and a long way behind on terms of points, so got to be a little bit careful here.
Something just to point out, Striker's only on 1 revive, and we potentially have quite a few rounds left to play here. So Strikers is really going to start having to play his life. I do believe that. I mean, for me, that it would make sense to drop him back over towards that Markser or something and just have him play his life. But right now, this is looking like an EU's Finest round. The drop shot does find Jack Vex though, but the rest of the kills going over towards EU's Finest. Zorkos needs to do something special here. He's just going to be pinned in. He's going to be peppered up from a couple of members of EU's Finest. This should be a round. It is a round to EU's Finest. 5-5 now.
The question is, do RDamage have the bottle? They were up. They were in the position. They came back last map to to take those 3 rounds in the end. Can they just get a couple more here?
Sorry,
on Bunker.
I said the marks up previously. It would make more sense to put Strikers on the Talkboat for me. Have him sit back, just try and get some picks. Instead of...
The problem is then does the boom shot run at him, knowing that he's not going to respawn up and take their home hill from behind?
Do they presume that he's over at the Talkboat? It's all these
But you will see it when they pick it up, right? So
yeah.
They will know at the point at which both players have those weapons.
Well, Strikers wisely did not invest any of his lives on the last round, and he will take that Talkboat. So, hey, I told you, man, I'm a Gears caster now. Look at that. All this theory. Obviously, he's going to go down to Rita, though, and Rita's had a lot of luck down here as well. He's going to actually avoid the drop shot, too.
Nice.
Nicely done. I don't know if he intended to get aggressive to avoid that, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he did.
We do have boom shot up here.
Boom shot available for Crimson, so Strikers, of course... I tell you what, he was close to pulling the trigger there, but Strikers will have that Talkboat elsewhere. Looks like he's actually... Yep, he's coming up to up top. How good's your Talkboat? Well, fairly decent, as he does find Crazed. So Strikers doing what he needs to do, playing that passive play as he is pretty low down on respawns. This should be an RDamage E-capture. The boom shot is just about going to slow that one down. Strikers finds another with the Talkboat. So 2 out of 3 is a good enough job for me. He will get himself out 23 and 23. Hey, I'm rhyming all over the shop here as well. It's crazy. It's the second map fever. It's catching on. It's catching on. I'm feeling it. We're getting there in this one as we are in round number 11, and it's all tied up. But right now, it is RDamage in control of this round.
Yeah, they're looking strong on it as well. They've got this drop shot up top. They've just picked up a second one as well. Obviously, Crimson's has managed to get that boom shot. Another Torpo maybe coming up.
I want to say Cougars has used this.
Oh, okay, Strikers went and got the ammo.
So Strikers does have that Talkboat as well. Hasn't died, so if he can get into the end of this round and RDamage win it, and without a death, he's pretty much on an even keel with everybody else, so he'd be happy for that. Means he can play his game, although saying that, playing this slow game with the Talkboat has worked out. I tell you what, this is a double drop shot kill. Oh, that's very close to it. They spotted it coming in. Crazed. I don't want to say he fell for the bait, but felt taking the shot at least anyway, but Crazed now going to have to get something else done as EU's Finest get aggressive up top. They have to. There comes the drop shot. Draw it out. Nicely done by EU's Finest. Expecting that one to come in. Cougars must still have one alive, but Strikers once again. That's 3 out of 4 from him. Cougars did still have that drop shot available. He takes down Jack. Crimson's going to find 2 with the boom shot, though. That might open things up. Cougars putting shots down where he can. Physics is going to drop Hydro in the mid-map. Rita and Cougars getting aggressive onto Crimson, who has to back down. It's a win condition for RDamage, surely going to come up, even with only 1.
Grace is fighting over on the home hill as well, actually.
Back down.
So managed to get the decap. And that's just annoying.
It's not enough. Strikers gets a hold of that torque ball once again. Hydron has the boom, but is it going to be enough here for EU's Finest? They're pretty much going to have to drop everybody without anybody else going down. It's not going to happen. They're just too far away. 10 seconds, it would have to take something special. Hydron is going to take himself out when he was pushing through. So physics is just the lamb to the slaughter, if anything. They're not going to be able to make the push here. That's another round to RDamage, who are 1 away from 2-0ing EU's Finest now.
And what a story that would be. EU's Finest dropping 2-2-0s in the first quarter of the Pro League, right?
I mean, I think it's a good thing for Europe in general. We can get to that point later.
Yep. If it happens.
If it happens.
There's a long way to go, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's 1 round for RDamage. 2 rounds for EU's Finest is definitely not off the cards.
Honestly, I think it's the investment in the Topo right now is really working out.
Yeah.
It's really, really working out for RDamage. And Strikers has been very efficient with it. I think he's found, I want to say, 3 kills in that round with it.
And this is exactly the setup that Obey used to beat EU's Finest on it back in the qualifier a long time ago. And it was that Torpo, just making the picks across from the top that made the difference.
Bultok is now out for Zorkos as well, so keep an eye on that one.
Well, that's a different one.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
I'm all for it. So, you know, it's a long-range map. Start picking them off.
Let's see what goes on with us.
All right, let's see. Go on, Zorkos. It's the Wild West. Obviously, watch your head. Crazed is there as well. He's answering back. Did they give one to Crazed? Yeah, they did. Actually, they give one to Crazed as well. All right.
I like it. So he's got both Boltok and Rockshot as well.
Again.
Let's get on board with him. Let's see what he's doing with his bow.
Not missing. Still got 2 left. Found a kill in this round already. Jack has to be careful. Surely he's not going to pick Crazed up top there. He's not going to find anything with that one, so wasteful for this time. Hydron's going to answer back with a kill at the Cougars.
But 1 for 1, and they used the drop for boom shot
as well. This is working out for RDamage. They're in control here in round number 12.
Striker's got to be careful. Running up with not really much vision, to be honest with you.
Maybe he's like, just let me be aggressive, guys.
I want to shoot stuff. And he has got 2 lives to play with now, so they have done a good job of keeping him alive, keeping him in this game.
Yeah, coach done.
That's it. Sign him up. San Diego coming up. If you want him, you can have him.
You can't. You can't. I'm expensive. EU's Finest now. Trying to get something done here. Looked like a home hill push was potentially going to come in. A lot of members down low. They could be making a push up towards E, but the win condition is here for RDamage. They're 1 up in the series. They're 6-5 up in the map. Here we go. Aggression coming out of EU's Finest, and this is the first time we've seen them really get bodies in and around this lower area. Crimson's now does have that boom shot available as well. That's a whiffed torque ball from Strikers. Physics has to win that gunfight. He's not going to. Here comes Jack and the rest of the crew. Hydron is going to drop. Jack is going to find one on a Zorkos. Can he find a second here as well? Not quite, but he does back them down. And that is going to be E captured, surely, by EU's Finest. They actually haven't even went for it here. They're quite happy to get aggressive over towards D, but F has been broken. Nicely done by RDamage.
I think they realise the power weapon is all coming back up. If they lose that fight, they lose the power weapons, they lose everything. So smarter play.
EU's Finest should get a hold.
I like that they're trading this out as well.
Yeah, I mean, Strikers hasn't been missing
exactly
with it.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things that some teams would have just ran off with that torpedo, but he just gave the couple of seconds, you know, had a breather, said, Strikers, you be making plays, take the torpedo, take it once again. We know you're down to 1 life again as well, so.
Yep, has to be careful.
Got to be careful.
Has to be careful. So now if you're RDamage, what is the play? You have time to play with, 50 seconds until they do go on to win this. Now I'm curious.
Interesting that Crimson's all the way back here.
Does he have anything in this boom shot? I don't think he does, because he would have had it out by now. There comes the drop. He is dead. Cougars is actually going to get the kill on the Crimsons as well. I mean, it's all going on here. Which way is this fight going to go? It's actually going to go in EU's Finest favor, unless Zorkos can get something going. Strikers is going to get the kill on the Jack Fex, I presume, over towards B. Zorkos is going to go down, so they will hold their home hill. They will hold this boom shot. They will win in 20 seconds.
Trying to get the decal. Has got the stick. This is amazing from Strikers. He's getting the decal. He is going to win if he can just hold this off the EU's Finest. He's going to get boom shotted out. There is backup, though. It looks like EU's Finest, they are going to be fighting for this hill. 16 seconds.
He's going to go. He's going to go down. Swarm are going to win in 7. Is there anybody anywhere for RDamage?
It's not going to matter anymore, though.
Not. We go to round number 13 once again.
What a series.
Oh, you're staying here tonight, pal.
That's it. That's it. I don't mind. I'd happily see a round three, map 3 between these two teams.
Go on. Drop it in the middle. Have they? No. Is this just going to be grenades?
Let's have a look.
Give me the double ball talk.
Could be interesting if that goes down.
Yes.
Oh dear. Kind of interesting.
So what's going to come out of RDamage now?
Given all of the use of that torpedo that's been happening up top, I would have thought EU's Finest would have gone for a smoke grenade there.
Yeah.
And then just jump the smoke grenade on top of that.
Utility's going to come out for RDamage now instead of the bull talk, which is maybe the more sensible one. Less risk.
For me, RDamage should have taken the bolt talk. EU's Finest should have taken the smoke. But let's see how these teams play it. They've made their choices now. This is the last round of potentially the last map of this series, depending on who wins this.
Okay, so in terms of respawns across the board, we're fine. We don't have to worry about that through.
We don't at all. We're doing all right.
Flash comes out, not going to find a lot. It's a tense one from both these two. Tugboat's not going to connect with Phelpsy. There goes another flying over. No, that was actually just a bullet. It looked like an arrow. Never mind.
Bolt talk coming out.
Ah, that was it.
Huge reticle. It does look like a torpedo when it lands on the wall.
It's a big... Yeah, that's what I thought. When it landed on the wall, that's what it looked like for a second. My bad. I mean, this is a Wild West shootout. Everyone's firing stuff in. A lot of bullets going to come down onto Jack Fex, and it will just force him off here. But if anything for EU's Finest, that is a win, as there is power weapons that have been used and not a lot gained. If you are RDamage, Jack should get a hold of this. The drop shot comes through, forces Cougars to get aggressive. Strikers finds Phelpsy. Crazed is going to take down Cougars, though. Crazed is going to take down Strikers, and Crimson's finds the cleanup as well. Advantage EU's Finest.
That it is. Zorkos got to go big here if he can do anything.
Bad spot.
I mean, even if you can get down to the if you can get down to the middle, you might be able to just hold some time off. As long as your teammates are behind.
What?
This might be big. He might catch Phelpsy off guard here.
The net?
He has indeed.
Oh, he's been absolutely smoked. Phelpsy's caught him out. And I think he's actually been helped out by his teammate, but either way, Jack Fex and Co will force RDamage away eventually. 65 seconds until they will win. Cougar's going to find a kill on the Phelpsy. It just takes a couple of kills here for RDamage, and they're right back into it.
It does, but Striker's walking up there with the torp bar in hand. Not necessarily the best play this time. Better played, but you need the teammates to help force off. Cougars has just killed one as well. He's going to get taken down in the end. He was trying to just force his way over to that other side. Let's see what's happening. Zorkos finds one as well. E-Hill going to get decapped by Reader. Phelpsy's got the drop shot, though. Is it going to connect? Yes, it is. That's a big drop shot. Zorkos needs to go and help.
Yeah, you got to go for it now, but you got to kill Craze down low as well. He's going to be backed on down. The flash is there. Just get a hold of it. They still haven't got it.
They were just a second off. They've missed the play.
He should have jumped on it. If I would have been Zorkos, I would have been on it with him and then backed out.
I think he thought his teammate maybe should catch that. They traded boom shot for drop shot. That's kind of interesting, but it does give Zorkos priority up top. You see now, EU's Finest, they're flooding through underneath. Swarm will win in 40 seconds. Great ball tox there from Zorkos.
Is it going to be enough to give them enough priority down low? Zorkos getting aggressive. It's just swarm win. They have decapped it. Reader is there. It's a swarm win condition still. EU's Finest are in control here. EU's Finest are well in control here. They've got a hold of E. You feel as if you can smell it. Another map number 3 upcoming unless Strikers and Co can go huge. It's not going to happen. We are going to map number 3, EU's Finest with the comeback, 7-6, 2 rounds in a row towards the end. Into map number 3 we go. Oh, we can play it. It's like buses. You don't see any or get any at all. In this case, buses are referencing map number 3s, but then you get 2 in a row. EU's Finest take this one. We send it to a map number 3. Oh boy.
Oh boy,
it's
indeed.
a long old show. 4.5 hours we've been going now over 2 series, and what series they have indeed been. I mean, you know what RDamage did so well was keep control of bunker the whole time.
Yeah. The
whole time. And then when it comes down to the crunch, they can't quite do it, and EU's Finest turn up. This is how it is when we have seen a full 26 rounds of Gears 5 so far in this series. And the EU's Finest have drawn it up. It comes down to 1 round difference here and there in these first 2 maps, and it sends us to Asylum.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. One misstep there by RDamage, just not capturing that E-Hill. was pretty much the catalyst for that point lead for RDamage, for EU's Finest. And, you know, EU's Finest, they just ran with it. They held that very, very well. They used the boom shot to stop that decap. What can you say? It's so close. It was the same in the round before, right? We said
for me the moment was it of when strikers didn't push for the hill and they pushed to force Craze out.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see him actually capture it and then just back up because he had the drop shot.
Yeah, just move yourself from the situation.
And they knew that it had been wasted on their side, on the other side of things from a EU's Finest. So I would have said, you know, get a hold of the hill. Back
Easy to see when you've got all this information.
Yeah, I know.
When the heart's pumping.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that hindsight is like 2020, of course. You know, if you push down, kill Crazed, and then they would have had more control, then, you know, it's all very well saying that. But, yeah, wow. I mean, I said we were complaining about no map number 3s. Now we get 2 in a row.
Yeah.
We will be heading over towards Asylum, of course, as you just seen. What are we thinking now? Because, I mean, for me, I was sort of saying 2-0 to EU's Finest. I thought they would take these both fairly comfortably.
Yeah.
It's been close. RDamage took map number 1. Asylum, notoriously, has been pretty good for EU's Finest, let's be honest.
Yes, it has.
But all maps have been pretty good for EU's Finest, let's be honest. So I think it's hard to predict.
The one thing that I will say is that both of these teams have played a lot of this, so we're not getting the bunker or the district where one team's had practice, the other team hasn't.
Yeah.
Both are coming into this having played it a lot against a lot of different teams. They both had their own ways of playing it. I think EU's Finest have had the best of it, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But it's going to be an interesting map 3. I feel like this might start to go EU's Finest way now, especially after losing 2 round 13, or not 2 round 13s, after losing 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
In that last map. It's got to be a killer. It's got to be a killer, especially when you have them on the ropes and they're just coming back and they're fighting back.
Yeah, so close to beating them. RDamage notoriously just have not been ever able to get things done against the EU's Finest, and you are literally seconds away from doing it, and it's snatched away.
It's got to hurt.
Snatched away.
It's got to hurt.
It does have to hurt. So I wonder if that will hurt them. It's getting late as well. Maybe tired heads. Certainly a couple here. I will say that you've noticed the puns have went well and truly. I mean, I was going to say downhill. They've stated an even keel of terrible over the whole entire Pro League, but we are loading into the map in a second. We will be going over towards Asylum. I think I'm going to side with you on the EU's Finest side of things.
Yeah.
I don't think comfortably. I think it'll be a 7-5, 7-6 once again. But maybe if they can just get a few rounds rolling, then we maybe see the close of this series.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, we'll see it eventually.
Hopefully? What do you mean?
As in, hopefully we'll see the end of the series.
Oh, God,
I want to go to bed at some point. But quite honestly, I do hope it goes all the way. I'm going to err more on the side of... It's difficult, isn't it? Because RDamage have put up such a good show. I feel bad saying that just for them.
But it's EU's Finest. It's like anything when they play. Like, any time in Europe, if you ever bet against EU's Finest, you are betting against the odds. If you were to put your house on anybody here, who would you put it on? You'd put it on EU's Finest.
Yeah, you would.
If you had to. You wouldn't. On this series, you wouldn't put any money on anything because realistically, not your house at least anyway, unless you were mad.
Yeah.
Right? But I think a sensible man, if he was to make a very conservative bet, he would put it on EU's Finest here on Asylum and map number 3.
Yep.
And I think that would be very, very fair. And I think nobody will blame us for going in that direction. But we are loading Asylum up in a second. Which way we're going? We're going to EU's Finest?
Have to.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to EU's Finest.
Bad.
Guys in the chat, let us know. Let us know which way you are going in this one. I think it's hard to go against them. The wind may be in their sails now. 7-6 win. Giving them a bit of a shake-up, if you like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been very close. I think if you are RDamage, even if you go on to lose the series, you'll be mega disappointed. Don't get me wrong. But you take the positives from it. You may well take a win.
You've got that extra map under your name as well.
Yeah. These round differences do indeed help. But here we go. RDamage to play this one 3 times, won it twice. EU's Finest twice, won it 100% of times, and won the majority of the rounds, of course, in that case. Here we go. Map number 3 between RDamage and EU's Finest. Map number 6 we've seen tonight. We've seen a lot of Gears 5. We have seen a lot of that tonight. Well, you guys at home being treated some very close games as we get map number 3 of game number 2.
Map number 3 we have Jack. He's going to be the one straight into the middle, and it is RDamage who are going to open up once again. We said it last time, they have to open up strong. They've opened up strong this time here as well. Hydron's going to fall as well. RDamage, they're looking to make a stamp on this Asylum map. I think the only time they've lost this is to EU's Finest, actually. So, looking to get a bit of revenge there. Striker's going to fly in a well-timed flashbang. Stops that kill coming out. Crimson's going to Open up as well. He gets a kill on Strikers. Cougar's going to fall, and EU's Finest not over yet. Cray's getting that kill. They're going to push up over mid-bridge now, just try and get a bit of control over this map.
I want to say that last time round between these two on this map, was it not a fairly comfortable win for EU's Finest? I want to say it was like 7-2, 7-4, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything too crazy to write home about. But it is actually RDamage with the initial good start here. Hydron now left in a bad spot. Jack is going to get a kill though, just to relieve some of that pressure, but it is RDamage with the control. What I will say about this map, it's one that can go a lot quicker. You know, if a bunch of kills come through, then it really can come down to that domination coming through or that elimination coming through. It's not so much these drawn-out rounds that you'll see on Bunker. It's a different style of map.
Train's coming in. Let's get over to the other side before we get run over. Breaker, he'll tell you all about that.
I didn't want to say anything. You said it. Oh, read it. As you've seen, Crimson's there. Just about in time. We'll back on down. We'll make the push-up once again. The shot's coming through. RDamage, the one's in control here, though. Yes, okay, they don't have B. Neither do EU's Finest, though, although that might change in a second. EU's Finest eventually getting control of him, but what is the cost?
Might be both of their lives, by the looks of things. Cray's done well. That Physics missed a few of his shots, but...
Nicely done. Can't quite clear it up. Oh, there's Jackfex. Where the hell has he come from?
Not a clue. Must have run in through middle map. I'm guessing that's why Cougars was in there as well, but...
Yeah, drop Cougar as well. They're at it as well. Well done by Crazed. Suddenly it's an EU's Finest win condition.
Just like that. They've got Strikers trapped in a cage as well. Poor lad getting taken out. Doesn't have much chance there. Never a good place to be. Physics showing his knife skills out as he starts to push over towards train tracks. Gonna have to wait a second for a little bit of help. Well, nothing really. Hydron's got complete control of middle. Cray's complete control of tracks, and there is Jack as well helping them out. And so, really, this should be pretty comfortable. And it is going to take a bit of a miracle here from RDamage to break the setup, but they do have 3 members over there now. The train is going to come in. If they can get all of their players over onto that other side of the track, they might be able to do this, actually. See, Cougars is going to take out Crazed. Jump on board the player cam rather than the follow cam as Cougars making his way around the back. B-Hill is going to go over to Swarm, so that train came in perfectly on time for them.
Phelpsy
living up to his MVP name, just take a couple of people out there, but not sure it is actually going to matter.
Take something special now. RDamage get it done. Just about a long round. 3 minutes and 22 seconds, but it is RDamage to take the win. Are you having a look at what the score was last time?
I was. I feel like it was like 7-2.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing.
Was it 7-4? Was it the one that they came back on a little bit?
It was 7-2 or 7. No, they came back on exhibit. I want to say it was maybe 7-1 or 7-2 on Asylum last time.
Let's have a quick look, shall we? While we're just seeing what the players will place down.
I'll keep the guys up to date at home. Don't you worry, mate. Alright, flashbangs are going to go down from RDamage. I fully expect the same to come out from EU's Finest, although they're hovering a mid one, and they are going to choose to probably mirror that one. They have done. Flashbangs now placed.
Alright, so it was indeed exhibit. That was 7-4, so 7-1 was the score last time around to EU's Finest.
Alright, RDamage, you're already there on the 1. Can you go 1 better? EU's Finest. A very solid result against these guys last time around when they did play it. Jack is now flashed up, can't do anything about that. Strikers and Crazed battling it out. Crazed gets the better of him this time around, but Zorkos is there to maybe answer back. Crazed is putting shots in. He's done very well to survive as long as he did. Waiting for his teammate to come and help him. Phelpsy comes in there with the down. Crazed will clean that one up, but the kills backwards and forwards RDamage are just about going to come out on top by the looks of things. Rita getting aggressive. Hydron, the movement is smooth. Buttery smooth. Physics, though, is going to take him down.
I thought you were going to go Smoothman then.
Oh, Physics has left the game.
Yeah, that's not good.
Figure out what's going on there.
That is not ideal at all. That is beautiful, though, from Strikers.
And he will get a hold of B. It seems he got the 2 kills and just disappeared off the face of the earth. That was strange. It was very nicely done, in all honesty, but we'll hopefully get him back in. I imagine we'll probably play the rest of this round out, but it is RDamage in control. And then we'll continue to play this one, as will EU's Finest. Now, what's the player for EU's Finest here?
And they got to find their advantage numbers-wise while they've got it, right? I mean, it's not ideal, and it is a bit scummy, but quite honestly, that is the play, is find where your numbers are going to be most efficient, and I'm not quite sure it's down here fighting Reed underneath the bridge.
He's going to find one over towards B.
Reed is having a go at everyone, to be honest with you.
Reed was quite happy to just get aggressive there. In the 4v5. Riz is going to answer back, and they will get B, but they've lost C here.
Physics is back in.
Physics is back in the game, and
imagine
you know what?
This.
RDamage have held this.
4v5, you disconnect, then you come back, your team's further ahead there, and then when you're like, quitting that.
I tell you what, Physics, just stay out of the game, mate. We got this.
Oh, Reader just turned up. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Cougars, he's going to get flashed out, but not going to back off here. I think it would be wise maybe to back off at this point. Quite honest with you.
Yeah, play your lives, especially as Physics is not quite back into the game yet. He has joined up, but he'll be trying to get in. Hydro and Core will clean up though. 2 members go down, Cougars and Zorkos. And
he's got another down. He's going to get down himself though in the end.
Physics back in the game now. RDamage. Win condition with them on one hill, but look where all of EU's finest are. They're up top bridge. Strikers needs to back on down, but the thing is, because they know they're all up top bridge, it's quite easy for RDamage to rotate over towards B. This should be their round. Should be.
Should be. They need to help Physics out over here.
This is right. They're doing the right thing here. They're moving on over towards B. They're going to give up A, but they're just going to camp it out here. They know it's only Phelpsy. And if there's 3 or 4 of them, then you should be just fine. And winning the gunfights too. Phelpsy can't quite get it captured. That's going to be 2.
Oh, the train. This is unlucky for EU's finest. Train's coming in perfect.
I think it still would have been done for RDamage, but the train, yes, very much so at the right time.
They're just at the other side, right? Like, give it another 3 or 4 seconds, maybe Crimson's gets in there, maybe gets a couple of kills and delays it more.
Possibly.
I don't know. It's one of those things. It sounds unreasonable, but then you realize it's Hydro on EU's finest.
Yeah, that's very true.
And then you go back and go, actually,
that's very true.
Missing someone else there?
I don't know if it's maybe just... I didn't see him leave, so I don't know if it's maybe just the
we'll wait till the next round kicks back in before we determine anything there. It looks like the players still going on with their placements anyway. Let's see what gets dropped down here. Perhaps the opposite drop shots once again, we'll see. Fully expect the shocks to come out from both teams here before we start to see any middle placements anyway.
Now, I did ask Rubik's about some central placements here on this map once again. And he said, no, we're never placing them up next to the entrance ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think entrance is the right play, to be honest with you, because it's such a linear fight, right? You know exactly how it's going to go down.
Shocks, whoever gets the better shot grenade.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And then, okay, if we put a boom shot down, we're rotating it around. It's always the same fight. I think if they're going to look at that maybe in future rounds...
Well, Physics is not back, so everybody's standing still.
Yeah.
As we do wait on him coming back into the round. Let's have a look at the scoreboard while everybody is big chilling.
Let's have a look.
I don't know what's going on with Physics. Why do you keep leaving, mate?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's not good, but...
Not good for you making it home on time.
Yeah, we'll be right.
Yeah, I'll be right.
We'll be right. We'll be right. I'd rather see a map 3 between RDamage and EU's finest than catch a train, so...
Sorry, Froze missus.
She's watching anyway. She just gave me some lip about that. What was it? Targeted goodness. Said, what am I, a Yakult ad?
A what?
Yakult, the yogurt. Doesn't matter.
No.
Someone in chat will get it.
I thought
you were a healthy boy.
He said too. Well, I know, but like, still, I have no idea what you're like.
Doesn't
goodness.
matter.
So is that something they say in the Yakult adverts?
No.
Other
We've gone too far in with this.
Yogurts?
You're just ruining it.
I mean, mate, what else are we going to talk about? We're just waiting on them load back in.
They're literally standing still.
I mean, there's some lovely camera movement going on here. You're getting a bit of practicing going in. Go on, give me some cinematic shots.
We're gonna have a look at Zorkos in his beautiful form.
I was expecting a little bit better. Come on.
Look at that. Look how smooth that is. Ain't that beautiful?
Nicely done.
Thanks. But back to the gears.
Yeah. Oh, this messes up the trains thing a little bit, actually. Because they come through at a specific time.
Yeah, they do.
And... yeah, it's gonna... I mean, it's not gonna mess up the initials a little bit. Potentially.
They can time it themselves, though, on the clock as well, right?
I mean,
so
they should be able to, yeah.
They can make sure that they're not just setting off into a train, getting run over. We'll see. It is a bit of a strange one, because you don't really see this from RDamage so much. Maybe we get some
physics back in the game.
Yeah.
But, you know, RDamage have already done twice as good as they did last time against the EU's Finest in this map.
Yeah, I mean, I had a quick look. They won the 3rd round last time, so they lost 2, won 1, and then just got stomped from then on. They lost 5 in a row. So definitely a much better performance already. I think even down 4v5, they still looked very strong, and if they can keep this up, yeah, no surprise.
I mean, they pretty much did win that round 4v5 for the most part.
Yep, the fights came in whilst, you know, it was Reader on his own, basically running around mid, just killing everything. Saw Cougars delaying so much as well in that home hill, just dodging every flashbang.
Well, looks like physics is back in, so we'll now wait for a time to start this one. I'd imagine it will be at 2 minutes 50, or it will indeed be at 3 minutes.
It might be 3 minutes exactly. We'll see. We'll see what the teams do. Nothing
going
on just
3 minutes. Yeah, we're going to be waiting until 3 minutes, I'd imagine. Then everybody is going to get things going. If anybody is wanting... Oh, get yourself back there, lad.
Yeah.
Now we go. Okay.
That's what I thought.
I want to say that EU's Finest maybe got a slight lead there on that one, but...
Send it to PGL.
Send it to VAR.
Gonna draw the lines on the floor. Oh, please don't.
Jack Faxi called up, getting things done in the mid-map. Zokos and the Strikers find a couple of deaths, if anything. And RDamage are pinned up against the wall. Physics was dropped, but he will be picked back up. But initial control over towards EU's Finest.
That it is. Nice opening fight for them. Definitely needed opening fight, to be honest with you. Reader's going to fall as well. He should get taken out. He does indeed. B control all over to EU's Finest now. Trying to just claw a couple of rounds back, to be honest with you. They really need to. Train's going to come in on the far side, so not going to block anyone off just yet. Zorkos is just waiting for some backup. Physics going to be that backup.
EU's Finest still in control. Quite happy to, and this is what they're good at, to be fair. They're good at just grinding results out in rounds. They're good at the aggressive stuff too, don't get me wrong, but speaking of aggressive, here go RDamage. Strikers wiped out far too easily there, leaving Phelpsy with nothing but merely a flesh wound, if you like.
Nice placement of the shot.
Yeah, that's just completely shut down that push as well. Maybe you could just about sneak around.
You can sneak around, but it's a very very obvious route there, right? So everyone from EU's Finest can just hold their shotgun on that. Very easily just take out whoever it is.
I mean, what was the plan from Cougars there? I'm not quite sure.
He's just trying to straight line someone, but isn't going to connect in the end. Phelps is going to get shocked out. Reader should be able to get a couple of kills here if he... A couple of shots, sorry.
Oh,
Phelps is playing there.
Wow. There's the elimination going to come through. EU's Finest on the board.
Perhaps a little desperation here from RDamage. We saw a few players that aren't really up to their character, to be honest with you. They're usually very calm, controlled. Yeah. They do have moments where they do go gung ho and just go for the fights, but usually they're in sync with the rest of their teammates, and it's a good play. Whereas that it wasn't really, to be quite honest with you.
No, it wasn't, was it?
I don't think it was fitting of the series.
Maybe expect a little bit. Well, I don't know. He's one of those players sometimes where he will just get stupidly aggressive. As Cougars and Strikers, they are that sort of player, and that's why they're good players, because they do make these aggressive players and they're very good at them. But sometimes they just don't pay off. And if players like Phelpsy on EU's Finest are there, they're ready to make you look silly. They will. And yeah, did a good job of that one. Either way, the drop shots in once again. Reader and Kodo, can they extend this lead, or will EU's Finest tie this one up? Phelpsy will find Strikers. Reader still with the drop shot on the RDamage side of things.
He is. Surprised he's not moving over here a little bit quicker. Going to use it to take out Phelpsy. Actually just misses that shot entirely. I'm not sure what happened there with that shot. He did not place that perfectly at all. Phelpsy going to get out with his life, luckily, to be honest.
Phelpsy going to back on down. Jack is all on his own. He's got 2. Can he find the 3rd as well? I think he will. Reader goes down. Jack finds 3 around tracks. And he will find B as well. Nicely done. Cog will eliminate here, actually, as well. Everybody dropping down. And that's a very, very quick round this time round from EU's Finest.
And that's
a bit more like it.
Yeah, that's a round that RDamage looked to be in control of. They had that drop shot. They had the positioning on the tracks pretty well. Quick triple kill there by Jack. Quick double by Crimson at the other side, and that's it, right? You're gone. And that's the power of EU's Finest. When they're on form, when they are fighting, and when there's something to actually fight for as well, they really can step up their game. And no surprise here to see that drop shot halved out. 75 seconds on the respawn. Both sides, I would imagine that will go down here as well. Yep, it is indeed. Cougars just going to lock that one in for RDamage. 2-2 now, the score still tied up even. 5 rounds at least to go.
Alright, can anyone break this deadlock? That is the question. Are we destined for another round number 13? Are we destined for 39 rounds of Gears of War between these two?
Pretty good going, to be honest. It's a lot of rounds of Gears of
War
in one series.
A lot of rounds of Gears of War. You think playing it's tiring. Imagine talking.
Imagine.
Yeah, over it. Yeah.
Imagine. These players, they'll all be talking constantly, right? Their communications will be on point.
I think a lot of people don't appreciate how mentally tiring playing this is. I will caveat that with casting it is also tiring as well, but it's like having to think and have to engage your brain and what you want to do, the communication constantly for this amount of time. It does take a lot of, I don't want to say mental strength, but it does tire you out.
Yeah.
Your brain is tired from all this talking and all this playing. All the hand-eye coordination you got to do, all the thinking, all the thought process of going through all of this. It's a very, very tiring thing.
Great kills there by JackFrag. I think the thinking part is also a huge part of it because, they don't have a lot of the on-screen indicators that we do, right?
This is an end of the round.
You're not wrong. We can see exactly what the percentage of people's healths are, right? You're not having to do that mental math in your head all the time. And there have been some changes to Gears 5 to help alleviate a little bit of that stress from the player. So such as the timer that tells you how long before a certain team's going to win. The timers on the weapon placements as well. A fly in the face. Just literally flew into me. So there has been some alleviation there, but there's still a hell of a lot you've got to keep an eye on. Still a lot you've got to track and remember to keep an eye on. Now we're seeing it. This is the old standard.
Yep.
Spend all that time building up those drop shots just to block them out.
Disable the drop shots.
Yep.
They are gone for 3 more rounds. And I expect teams to maybe build something else up yet. Could see some boom shots by the end of that one.
Yeah, you'd expect it right on the track side, just have those boom shots locked in.
Makes sense. Right then. Can he use Finest get themselves a decent lead for the first time here? They are 1 round up. Jack is going to find Zorkos here. He's going to get taken down.
He's been playing very well this map for me.
Jack's been playing well. I feel as if he's been quietly doing very good work for EU's Finest throughout all 3 of these maps. Of course, they lost the first one, but can they get this one done?
And he's a player that, I have given criticism in the past. When he came onto EU's Finest as a replacement for Marsh, I don't think he was up to standard, but having spent time with these players, now, he's obvious the pedigree is there, right? He has that skill set, and he's been a good addition, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I know. I'll eat my words on that one. He's performed for them.
He's solid, isn't he? I don't think
he's not the flashiest.
Yeah, he very rarely sets the world on fire. I mean, those 3 kills in I think it was round number 4, where he picked up 3 over towards the side of the tracks. That was very, very nice. As crazed Jack and Hydron get a little bit crazy in the middle of the map here, and that's a few members of RDamage down. Physics left on his own momentarily. He's just going to run into shots here. He should be taken down. It's very well coordinated by EU's Finest, but I think RDamage have done enough just to stay into this round. But he doesn't do anything too flashy. He just does a solid job all around, you feel.
Yep.
Never necessarily at the top, never necessarily at the bottom of the leaderboards, but a solid player all around. Where's he sitting right now?
Let's have a look, shall we? He's second bottom, but to be honest, he's leading
most
the way in
eliminations. So doing enough. Doing enough. Cougars is going to find Hydron twice, but he will just about get out of there. It is EU's Finest with the win condition. They have C, they have B. They have to defend a big push coming up top on the bridge here. You can see RDamage just setting up for that, but we can see Reader is there to maybe make that push over towards B if he needs to. But RDamage, which way do they go with this one? Backing down from the bridges, Cougars just about getting away with that. Will eventually get away. But still, for all that work, it is EU's Finest. Still with the win condition. The train's coming across there now as well, so that's going to give them a few more seconds just to set up where they need to. Reader's pushed on to B, but he is going to get taken down. So now momentarily a 4v5 in favor of EU's Finest.
Yeah, that they are. You can see the flashes coming out. They are just trying to get this break. They've decided that this is the moment to do it. There is a push going on up top as well, so let's keep an eye on both of these things. Physics flying in, does manage to get the headshot on Phelpsy as he's looking for his second now. 2 members of EU's Finest ahead of him. EU's Finest just trying to get the cap here. They are dancing around. Reader down to Cougars in the end. That's not ideal. Done. Physics going to fall as well. Reader picks up 1, looking for his second. Is he going to push this? Yes, he is. Hasn't managed to connect yet, and actually Crazy's healing up in this fight. Trains are going to come back in, so there's going to be a 1v1. Both these players trying their best here just to keep things going. Cog going to win in 4 seconds. No one on C, it seems. And Crazy's going to win that B fight as well. So EU's Finest locking in that 4th round in a row. Nice play from them indeed.
Could this be the snowball effect coming into play here as we hit the halfway point?
It's been pretty close. I mean, there are questions on the movement there. Not the actual player movement, but the team movement around the map. They gave up that bridge control, which meant that their rotation idea, it seemed like, was to move off the bridge, come through middle, jump through pavilion,
They
push
never
tracks.
really committed to anything, did they? That was the thing.
The problem is, they took the only person that was holding that all together off the track to try and push through mid. And as soon as he moved back, you saw on the other side, I think it was Crimson's just moved straight up to the bridge and shut it all down. Which is why it took them so long to make that play.
We'll now move the hill up towards the bridge. The 2 home hills will move ever so slightly.
Apologies.
Cougars and Co, though, still fighting for control of these tracks. It's an important place to have, but Crimson's going to find 2 up towards E, and that will be the E hill going over towards the EU's Finest. They get aggressive over towards F straight away. Now a couple of those players not respawning for a few more seconds. And will take their chances because they know that they have people at tracks. They had to back on down to the side. Jackfax is going to find 1 drop on the strikers, but if you're EU's Finest, you still have to be a little bit careful here not to completely get a little bit overzealous over towards this push. The domination may well come in, though. The push has to come from RDamage. Everybody's dropping. Physics is the only one to answer back. Physics is dead, as is Reader, as is everybody else on RDamage. That's another quick round for EU's Finest, who are flexing their muscles here a little bit now. 5-2.
5-2 indeed. I think that home hill fight is well played by EU's Finest, but it is one of the home hills that I feel like the aggressors have a bit more of an advantage there, especially on that side with the right hand on that overlook. You see everyone pushing down. You saw basically all of RDamage just lined up like chickens in a row on that back wall. Nothing they could do apart from trying.
Chickens in a row?
Chickens in a row. Yeah.
Is that a saying?
I mean, depends if they're battery or not.
Oh.
But they're all there. They're all in a row. They all got shot in the end, and EU's Finest came out with that win.
We're heading down a dark path now.
It's long. We've not. This is uncharted territory for us as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, is this the EU Pro League after dark stream? Is it?
It seems that way.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, back into the round and outside of the poultry slaughtering category that we somehow found ourselves in. Jackfax is going to manage to get a hold of this boom shot and is going to try and get something going with it. Crazed and Co up top. Crazed is just moving so well. Given the second as well, not quite going to happen. Strikers will shut that down, and it will be an E capture for RDamage to potentially get a foothold back into this game, because it's been all EU's Finest the past 5 rounds.
Has indeed. Physics done well to get his teammates out here. So red. Striker's getting the down on Crimson's now. Hydron just trying to bait this out. Uses that little back bounce to try and get himself out of that situation, but no, Physics gets the down there as well. This is a good retake from RDamage. A little bit of life left in them, it seems.
Flash going to come through as well. EU's Finest going to have to probably back on down.
Interesting flash, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had control of the E-hill. Yeah. They had the advantage in terms of numbers, and EU's Finest didn't really look like they were going to be pushing, so...
I suppose just to secure it, get everybody out. So, it's maybe a little bit unnecessary, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. You also got to remember as well, RDamage, hour ahead, being in more central Europe, they are probably starting to get a little bit more tired than EU's Finest.
Yeah. So touch and go for you here, mate.
We're all right.
We're all right. You're thinking, come on, EU's Finest, lads, come on.
No, not at all.
No bias from you, Fru. A perfect esports man. Phelpsy and Craze now are going to drop, though, as is Hydron. Crimson's the only one to answer back, so this is a good round out of RDamage here. Looking like they can win one up against EU's Finest, who had been tearing away with it. This would be a big domination if it is going to come through. It's looking like it is going to come through. Domination denied. Crimson's just about slowed it down, but denied the inevitable. As RDamage get that one. 5-3 now.
Better round from RDamage, I think. They had a lot more control up top.
Yep.
They took their fights this time around. That extraction of that player of physics out of the top bridge when he went down, when Strikers went down, was huge for the round. To be honest with you, there was a potential sweep there for EU's Finest that could have happened if they just managed to secure that kill, but nope, physics got him out, and they came back in, took that B hill, E hill, sorry, for themselves. Boom shot down in that mid now. That's something we've not talked about.
Honestly, you were talking about battery chickens, and that threw me off.
Got a boom shot as well, so there you go. What do you reckon to that one?
Well, boom shot in the middle. Who would that have come from then? Let's have a look at the... So that would have actually been RDamage.
Yeah, mixing things up, taking a leaf out of Obey's book once again.
Okay, and they must have seen that, you know, that caused some problems for EU's Finest last time round. They didn't really know what to go with. I mean, Jack is literally just ran for it. Just literally head down, sprinted. He didn't land the first shot as clean as he would have liked. Here comes the drop shot. That will get rid of Jack, but it has meant that the drop shot has to be invested. What about on the other side of things? Has it been invested by EU's Finest? There it is. Reader goes down, and this should be a boom shot over towards Phelps. You know.
That it is.
Nicely done by EU's Finest. Just invest there. They trade effectively, more effectively, I should say, than RDamage. That will get control of B.
Yeah, they will. It was nicely done. They still got the boom shot as well by Phelpsy, so that's also something they can use. Just hold on to it, right? They can wait for this next one coming up if they stay there long enough. Striker's going down. That's not going to assist his team in any way whatsoever. It looks like EU's Finest actually just letting him crawl out. No, Jack trying to clean that up in the end. He's going to go down for himself. Striker's going to just time out there. Craze gets that kill. But EU's Finest, they do have control here. They have both the mid hill and their home hill. They've got that boom shot. They've got a big point lead coming in.
And they got control over towards the tracks as well, because the thing is, the second that a big push comes in from RDamage down low, you know they're heading straight over towards F. Or, alternatively, if their teammates go on to win these fights over towards E, then potentially we will see them extend for the domination. But here we go.
Physics going to be the sacrificial lamb on that boom shot. Does get the cap in, though, so...
Drop shot's going to be available on the side of RDamage as well, but as is on the side of EU's Finest. Here comes the one from RDamage, who's going to end out on top, though. Phelpsy and Craze are the ones there. High drop pushing through the mid may have just been the distraction tactic that they needed. As Strikers now gets aggressive up top, he should be dropped. Surely he is going to get away, but the problem is that they have lost E. But here they have the numbers. RDamage now going to make the push, but can they make it effectively? Strikers going to get in a position where he will just about get away from that lance of fire. Not quite there quick enough from EU's Finest, and is going to be a swarm win condition just about in time. Striker's getting stupidly aggressive, though. He has to back off there, surely, for...
I mean, he got a lot of damage down, but the problem is that he got a lot of damage down, and his teammate weren't ready. So there was no follow-up whatsoever. The follow-up is now, but it's a little late. We see that EU's Finest, they're winning this fight, and that's because they were at the advantage when the fight started. Striker's putting his team at a bit of a bad spot, to be quite honest with you. Not what you need when you're 5-3 down.
EU's Finest now should have the win condition. Reader is trying to get some stuff done here over towards D. He will momentarily. Cog team still with that win condition though, and that is going to just tick on down as they now have the boom, they now have D, they now have E. RDamage still within touch and distance here, although saying that, when you got a boom shot to try and run through as well, that makes things ever so more difficult. Here they go, they have to make the push. Physics are going to down Jack, and it is actually going to be cleaned up as well. The Crimsons here to spoil the party. EU's Finest are about to move within one of closing this series out. Looking very solid here on Asylum.
They are indeed. Just better utilization of what they've got in their arsenal. The boom shots were used well. Drop shots also connecting every single time. And they were there for that second boom shot as well. So pretty well played by them. Let's see what they place down here now. Let's have a look. Crimson's going to be the first one. So is he just going to upgrade over here? Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Maybe a frag grenade coming out. We'll see what happens. It is indeed that frag grenade.
Well, we see it be effective last time round for RDamage. Will it be effective for EU's Finest? And the thing is there, you grab that, you don't really have enough time to make it over for those initial gunfights over towards E. It's one of those things, you maybe just pocket it.
Yep.
See how you can use it.
The one thing that you do have is that your incendiary second time round is going to come up at the same time as that boom shot.
Yeah.
So there's potential that you can get it up there to that fight. Whereas the Oh, hello.
That's a drop shot.
It is indeed. The frag grenade is 30 seconds longer on that respawn, so that's not going to be available.
Reader trades drop shots though, and we'll find Phelpsy. It's looking like a potential RDamage capture here, but Hydron's going to get aggressive. We'll lose the gunfight though. Zorkos will back him on down. Krace is putting plenty of damage down, but just sharing it between a few members of RDamage. We'll get the kill onto Reader, but it looks like Control may go over towards RDamage here. Is that frag still available across the board? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it is. I think it's actually been wasted, or at least dropped. Cougar's, yeah, Cougar's still with an incend. Tell you what, this could be big.
Oh well, it could have been if you're not throwing it in corner.
I mean, I get that means they can't make the push past, and
the problem is that it doesn't really. I mean, it has in the end forced off, combined with the boom shot, forced them off, but. When a player is trapped in there, if you throw the incendiary on the cover behind them, there is no support whatsoever, coming from EU's finest. You can get that kill anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why I would use it there, because it just enables you to move up a little bit as well. But in the end, doesn't matter. They use that boom shot to get the kill. They've managed to get complete control up top. And let's have a look on the old timer. 60 seconds on that boom shot, 65 on the drop. So. Slightly out.
Drops have just actually been picked up.
You see the incendiary now, 30 seconds on that one, so that's going to be available and ready to be used for this next fight.
Well, RDamage. I'm going to be waiting on that coming back up. I think if you use finance, you try to force the issue before then. RDamage set up very, very nicely here. The flash has come through. EU's finest.
I'm trying to find this other drop shot. There it is.
Helps you get done with it. Reader.
Still got one shot left.
He's going to wait on the push coming through. What's EU's finest plan here? Because they just seem to be working for a
there it is.
Yeah,
there's a bit of an angle they can get, but Reader as well. He gets two up top, and that's beautiful. He's going to get flanked in a second.
These gunfights are massive down low, I tell you what.
Let's have a look.
Hydron's actually managed to get a hold of the incense as well, and the kill over towards D. And for all the good work that RDamage did over towards D, the win condition still with them. But they're not in a very good spot here. Hydron has those incense, but he may actually just block his own path here.
Yeah, this is not ideal for Hydron, but player he is, he might be able to make something of it. No, he gets taken down by Striker. Striker's got good pistol, but he has two people behind him. D, that's going to get D capped. As we do see E go over to EU's finest, but I think it might be all right. Crimson's down there.
It should still be enough. It should still be enough.
Taken out.
They didn't get E in time either, so they've got to go for D. They have to go for it. They're jumping on it now. Physics is getting good work done here, and it's well played by RDamage in the end. Nicely done. 6-4. Threatening a comeback.
Are we going to see it again? Are we going to see it again? I don't know. 3 more rounds.
I don't know if I'll have the energy.
You've got to have the energy.
Maybe it'll bring it out of me.
Well, let's see what goes down. That might help. Incendiary's hovered. Maybe another upgrade to a frag for them as well. It worked for them last time, as you said.
Yeah.
Really well on District. It is indeed that upgrade. For EU's finest, though. See what they do.
The problem is here is that EU's finest, for them, they're the ones in the lead, so to speak, with the home hill weapons. So
yeah, do you want to mess it up too much?
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be utility, so maybe an extra flashbang coming out there.
Yeah, which will definitely help things over towards EU, would imagine.
Yeah, definitely so.
Help them get a hold on that boom shot that a little bit earlier. There go the grenades from both teams now.
Using these.
Here we go. Drop shot comes through, finds one to Jackrace, and I will say one thing: both teams are being horribly accurate with these drop shots, and it's making things very, very hard to win it. I mean, Hydron. I mean, for me, that's you put the grenade out yourself there, and here comes the flashes from Phelpsy, who has managed to survive on his way there. I imagine he'll make a push over towards the boom if Kraze does not.
Yeah, and the boom shot, you know, it got used as they died there. Another grenade coming out of some physics, so there isn't actually anything in that code to fight for. EU's finest wasn't sure by the looks of things if that was the case or not.
Big fight in the smoke. This worked out for Hydron last week. Strikers and Co, though, getting very, very sticky with it as well. Reader finds 2, and Crimson's is going to have to back on down, and they will chase him down. They're looking for D here. They're looking for the domination. Reader and Co getting these shots in. Phelpsy's taking some damage here as well. This could be the domination coming through. It looks like EU's finest may just about defend this, but the damage is already done. RDamage will take the lead. They have the control. They lose Reader, but gain everything else. Nicely done from RDamage there.
I am quite you know, interested to see that they did indeed back out from that fight. They had a 5v4 situation there, and yes, Rita got taken out, but it was still 4v, and we saw EU's Finest in the prior rounds win that exact fight. And it's telling to me the difference between EU's Finest's boldness to go forward for that fight and RDamage's carefulness, cautiousness as they back out.
Well, it's flipped on its head now, as EU's Finest now have control of E. After a couple of good gunfights, and now Physics will make this push. Boomshot probably going to be coming up fairly shortly if it didn't already go up. I don't see it anywhere, and that's one of the worst ones I've seen so far from Rita there.
Yeah, for the good he did in that previous fight, he's kind of just...
Yeah, that's negated the pressure that they had. Here comes the smoke.
Especially given that they had the hill as well.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know where a drop shot would be useful?
Right about now.
Yeah, pretty much now, yeah.
Yep.
The Hydron will get the boom. There it comes. Zorkas is going to go down, as is everybody. No damage, just only Physics left, and he is not in the best spot at all. The Lancer Fire comes through, just trying to play his life as best he can. He managed to get a kill on the Jack, so he will slow things down, if albeit only momentarily. Strikers is going to be there, and I think EU's Finest are maybe just going to back down, maybe just pincer them in. No, actually, we're just going to have a scrap on F-Hill, apparently.
Yeah, I think this is what I was saying previously in this situation.
Pinning them in.
Yeah, EU's Finest, they got out. They don't even need to, cap this hill. They've got the grenades from both home hills now.
This should be it.
Dropshot's going to come in. Cougars, yep.
This should be it.
Taken out.
Zorkos is going to find Phelpsy.
Where are those frag grenades?
Backs against the wall for RDamage here. Zorkos is going to go down to the frag. And even if EU's Finest don't capture F, they're just pinning RDamage in. RDamage have held on so well. They've forced them up number 3. But that might be the only thing that they see here. I don't think it's going to be a win unless some magic can come out of Cougars. I don't think it's going to happen. EU's Finest in a solid spot to win this one. Zorkos is the last one alive. Hydron and Phelpsy find them. EU's Finest find their 7th and their 2nd map of the series. They will walk away as winners eventually. But hats off to RDamage. They tested them. They tested them right to the limit. 7-4 in map number 3. They just about get it done. But what a series out of these two. What 2 series we've had today. Fantastic years from all these European teams.
It really was fantastic to see 2 map 3s. Finally we've had it. We've
yeah,
had
I said they both come at
the
the same time, of course.
Yeah, but honestly, I loved it. I think that was such a good performance from RDamage. Yeah, they slipped a little bit at the end. But there are some fantastic things that they can take away from that series. EU's Finest as well. I'm sure they've learned a lot as well about RDamage from that.
Yep.
And I'm sure they came back in the end, right? But I'm sure they were a little bit nervous at some points during that series, especially that round 13.
Oh, 100%.
Over on Bunker.
Yeah, 100% on Bunker. But let's have a look how this one did unfold. Nearly the maximum amounts of rounds. We ended up 2 short, so 37 in the end that we did end up seeing. So a solid night's work from both these two. And the thing is, I want to say, for RDamage, they will be disappointed in the result, but I think they'd be happy in their performance. Yes. They were very, very close to a 2-0 here. Let's be honest. They were very, very close to that. They pushed EU's Finest to probably the furthest limit we've seen in Europe in a couple of years for them. They got beat by Rated R, and I don't want to, diminish that from Rated R, but that was week number 1. EU's Finest didn't seem to be at the races. Right here and right now, they played well, EU's Finest, but RDamage still pushed them. I think that is probably one of the most significant results we've probably had in Europe, that, the gap is maybe not as big as it was, but let's have a look at the gap at the top for EU's Finest, because they are very much at the top now. 6 points to them, 5 for RDamage, or Bay Alliance sitting at 4, Rated R at 3. One of these things where, now there is actually gaps. There is actually gaps there forming. It's some of these things where everyone's on the same points, etc., etc. We have a definitive 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Right now, it is EU's Finest at the top.
It's only taken 4 weeks.
It's only taken 4 weeks, yeah. and you know what? The round difference is pretty solid too. RDamage, though, solidly in 2nd. Obey Alliance are going to have a good performance against them to overtake, of course. But yeah, it's all to play for. Rated R at the bottom there. They will pretty much feel aggrieved at that. I would say, they're a solid team. This could still change. This could still change a lot. We still have 2 more weeks.
Yes.
Of the first quarter, of course. There's been some fantastic games so far. I know you're not with me next week, Fru, but
no, I'll be watching at home. Don't you worry.
You'll be back for the last week where we will be deciding things. But who ends up on top? Do you think it's still EU's Finest?
I think at this point, given that RDamage did just drop that, I think it has to be.
Yeah.
I feel like Rated R they're kind of falling off a little bit at the moment.
Yeah.
RDamage, one thing I will say about them actually before we close up on that is that they are improving no end. All the way through this pro circuit, they've looked better and better and better. And with San Diego coming up, I think this is the perfect time for RDamage to really make their name known. Performances like that, that's going to help them. And I'm excited to see what they can do, not just in those next 2 weeks, but in that following major as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we have 2 fantastic European teams going out there, if not 4 with Obey and Rated R as well following them.
Yeah, plenty of good to be had from Europe. Some fantastic games tonight. Thank you very much to everybody who did watch. 2 finally map number 3s. We haven't had any until tonight, and then we had 2 at once, and some fantastic games. Some very, very close games between these 2, but we have a definitive leader at the moment. Can EU's finest be knocked off their perch this time yet? We'll see you next week.